And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of No Bucks Given, right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel, the Horny Goat Podcasting Network, where you can listen to us in all your favorite podcasting platforms, straight into your ear tunnels, ear caves. What was it? Oh, we called it nose caves earlier. Yeah, it's a ear caves. I'll go with ear caves.
You see my caves?
You want to see what caves, girl? Welcome one and all. Welcome, one and all, to episode 29 of No Bucks Given, the show where we basically get together and talk about anything and then everything that's going on in the world of entertainment, sports, news, or basically whatever the fuck we can find and talk about. And I will warn you now, get yourself a drink, get yourself a meal, get whatever JP is on at the moment. You want to strap in and strap on, because I have a feeling this is going to be a long episode, because we have a shit ton to discuss. Breathe through your nose, JP. We have a lot of shit. We have a lot of things to discuss, a lot to go over. But it's gonna be a fun night. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all coming in here, man. If you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do so. YouTube.com/Horny Goat. With that being said, you guys know me. I'm Connor. I also now go by Mr. Marvel 613. I'm of course the host, the MC, if you will. But I am not alone. I'm joined by the wonderful members of the Horny Goat crew. I've got with me, first and foremost, the power couple, the it couple of Horny Goat. We got JP and Heather. What's up, guys?
Oh, trust me, if I didn't mute, you would have been surrounded.
I know. I could. All I saw was with no audio.
It has been a long week. It has.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been sick.
Yep.
And it's just she hasn't laughed in a couple of days. It's kind of scaring me right now. I think she wants to kill me.
No.
But
Heather, nodding is not an admission of guilt. I'm just saying.
it's just yes, we're around each other pretty much 24/7. But when you're sick,
yeah, the tolerance level is at an all-time low.
Yeah, hers is gone. I'm trying to be patient. Usually I'm the one that's out of control, and she's the one that's
she's clearly looking like she's out of control right now.
No, I yelled at her.
Then again, she was also alone with a toddler for a week while super fucking sick.
Yeah, and Wendy too.
Now, okay, not disputing. My point is, when you're sick, it's annoying, because I know she's just whatever. But yeah,
like I've had enough.
I tested myself today to see if I could say fuck this, I'm out. Yeah, no, I did get out for a little bit.
No, you'll test positive for COVID up to 3 months later.
Yep.
I don't think it's ever going.
I think that's bullshit, honestly, because Austin, he was sick with COVID for probably about a little over a month, but he, like, as soon as his symptoms went away, he tested negative.
I'm saying you could test positive for COVID up to 3 months.
Well, you could, but I could also win the lottery, which won't happen.
Well, not that attitude.
I don't buy tickets.
We're doing well.
Is he right? Is he right on that assessment, Heather?
Yeah, especially when I have to hear him yelling and screaming at her to stop whining when he set up a fucking game on the computer and then walked away from it, not realizing said game needs permissions in order to play.
I played it.
Yeah, after I sat there and said, allow. That's why she was whining. And you were screaming at her for your fuck up.
We're going to wrestle today, I think. So, look. I went over to the computer and I started playing the game myself. So I didn't see no allow.
I mean, it sounds like JP has a problem playing with himself, so it's understandable. We've also got with us,
my goodness.
We've also got with us everyone's favorite bear from upstairs, Canadian Basement. What up, Basement?
Hello.
Short, sweet, and to the point. We've got the wonderful Gina with us this evening. What's up, Gina?
Up.
God damn it! You guys are just one word answers.
She said that sounded like up.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sup.
Would you like some supper?
Am I all up in your earballs now? Is that good?
Emphasis on the.
Yeah.
And of course, last but certainly not least, we've got Trek joining us. Trekopedia, what's up, Trek?
Not much. I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight. There's nothing going on.
Yep. Good night.
No
Yep,
news
all right, we're
at
out.
all.
I mean, there's stuff.
There's a lot.
There's
a good amount.
Nothing happened.
There's a good
Nothing
amount.
You read that incorrectly, Tim. I would whoop Heather.
With your arthritis right now?
Listen,
Right now, I don't care
My money's on
if I have
Heather, man.
arthritis.
Fuck.
I don't care whether you're sick, not. I don't care. My money is on Heather. Get her pissed off enough.
Does anybody have weapons?
I guarantee it.
Get her pissed off enough. My money is fucking. I'll put 20 on Heather, and I don't even have $20.
He's got a titty twister him to death, and we're never going to see him again.
I'm telling you right now, I would choke her ass out. Just saying.
I'm not touching that with a
Good Horny Goat.
50,000
We don't
caliber.
care with domestic violence.
I don't think you can choke an ass.
No! It's my channel you're on!
Too bad. I voted already.
You're a dick!
I might have thrown a poll in the chat real quick. I might have. I cannot confirm nor deny. 4 votes, 100% for Heather so far.
I am telling you, there is nothing like a fucking woman scorned. Piss her off enough.
Hell yeah.
Scorned!
No votes for.
She's
I'm
not
leaving it.
scorned!
I think JP would
Yeah,
probably take himself out by trying to do something.
I'm-
Like, super kick, bitch! And he's crippled on the ground.
he'll walk away from the. He'll walk away from the fight because he didn't hit a lot.
Are yourself trying to get out of the fucking chair to do something?
I'm gonna motherfucker.
Little miss, I'm gonna sleep till 1 o'clock.
After I was up until 6 o'clock. No, sorry. 7:30 with that one.
You're bigger than she is. Choke her ass out.
He's just answered to
Alright, I'll take the time in prison for it so you can deal
Say
with
that right
her
in the show,
Oh,
JP.
all by yourself.
You're just gonna put her to sleep. You're not gonna
I
kill
can
her.
just see this now.
Jackass.
I can see this now, okay? These two are gonna get into a fucking argument. JP's gonna be like, oh yeah, and he's gonna go to stand up, and all you're gonna hear is a roll, and oh, my ankle! That's what you're gonna hear.
And then you're going to hear Heather laughing.
We all know your weak points,
Either
JP.
that or it's going to involve some sort of chair flipping because he happens to like that. Don't.
I'm leaving that poll up for all night. I'm not posting anything else for a poll. I'm leaving that
still
because
see
there's 6
100%.
votes. Yeah, there's 6 votes, 100% for Heather. There's not a single vote for JP so
Oh
far.
my gosh.
You all need to have faith in me. Trust me.
Ow, my ankle.
No, because your gout disqualifies you, dude.
I don't have gout right
Gout
now.
disqualifies you.
X poll who wins, JP or Wendy?
That
JP
Wendy
or-
could just run and headbutt him in the nuts.
True.
No, that's never happened. One time.
She could just walk up. Oh, there's 1 vote for JP now. It's a pity
Thanks,
vote.
Aaron.
There's a curve of 1 vote, so that doesn't count. So So
we grade on a curve here at Horny Goat, so the 1 vote doesn't count.
Yep, exactly. So we might as well kick this off here because we kind of had an idea of where we were going, generally speaking, with like one major story that really broke, and it's going to be the Vince McMahon thing. That's the thing we're going to start off because I figured that's going to be the biggest thing we're going to talk about. And before we get into that, though, I do want to give a quick love to everybody who is voting in the chat right now. We do have Alpha, Paul Arzola, Tim, Federico, Jurgen Murian. And I believe that's everybody I hit in the chat. So at Alpha,
you forgot Federico.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry, Federico as well.
Sexual. No, you gotta say it's sexual.
Federico Garza.
Federico.
Oh God, I can't do that. I'll choke on my own spit. So
Not sexual at all.
it's not. Or is it? So the big story, obviously, that I think a lot of us instantly gravitated towards was the Vince McMahon story. Mainly because every one of us either was or is a pro wrestling fan. It's kind of the thing that sort of brought us all together as far as our friendship, or at least was the catalyst that started our friendship together. And so it makes the most sense for us to talk about this. This is, putting it bluntly, this is fucking huge. I'm not, whether or not it's a surprise, I think is debatable, but this is probably the biggest wrestling story in the last 10-ish years, if not more, on a major scale. So I'll break down the facts that I'm pretty sure I have everything nailed down as far as the specifics. Obviously, we talked about this before on previous episodes of No Bucks Given, where the Vince McMahon allegations and accusations of the sexual misconduct with former employees, or the NDAs, the non-disclosure agreements, and all that stuff. We've already kind of talked about that.
More NDAs.
Whoa. That's what I thought he said too. That's why I was just like, whoa, because he blew my fucking mind there for a second.
It sounded like indie gays.
That's what I thought he said.
Say no, Donkey Kong.
I'm choking. I'm choking on my spit. So,
oh my gosh,
the NDAs of Vince McMahon, and everything just piling up, and so sort of out of left field, but not really, considering how much like heavy fire there's been for, and a lot of attention, negative press that both Vince and the company have been getting. Vince McMahon and WWE in general, as a corporate statement, has announced that Vince McMahon, as of Friday at 4 p.m. yesterday, was retiring as the CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, as far as the specifics, here's the only thing we know as far as the company is concerned. Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan are going to be the co-CEOs of WWE, at least for the time being. Whether that's going to change or not is up to we'll see how that plays out. Triple H, aka Paul Levesque, will be taking over as the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations for one Mr. John Laurinaitis. I don't believe Laurinaitis has been fired yet, but I think the writing is pretty much on the wall that he's going to be next to go. So I don't think it's been official yet.
He was tied in with that whole thing, wasn't he?
He was, yep. He was tied in. I think he's been on administrative leave, but he's not officially fired yet. Stephanie, of course, had they were SmackDown on Friday, like literally hours after this massive news broke, doing a "Thank you, Vince" chant. Now, Vince is out now. Whether or not he's going to be like a consultant on things, I think he's still going to be consulting on small things from time to time. I don't know if he's still going to be involved, at least as far as head of creative, but as far as his major responsibilities and major duties in the company, he's done, which is really fucking weird to say with like certainty.
I said, I don't think this shocked me when he retired, because I am one of those that said the only way WWE will lose Vince is if he dies.
Yeah.
I said he would never retire. Do I think that all of these allegations got to him? The man's almost 80 fucking years old. I think he finally realized that. I think he realized that wrestling and the entertainment aspect of it has eluded him, so he's stepping back and he's letting his daughter and his son-in-law take the reins. Will that change the WWE? Probably not. I don't see it.
I respectfully disagree, JP. I feel like he was pushed out because I feel like the board probably gave him. It's not the fact that everybody wanted him out. It's just the fact that there was so much negativity with all of this, and it was shining a negative light on the company. So I think that the board was probably the one that made the decision and said, "Listen, you got to step down." I'm gonna
say that may be the case, but I think because we all know Vince. He will fight until the very end. And he usually wins. Like, how many cases has he ever lost? None.
But him fighting against his own creation.
No, he didn't lose. He didn't lose. He said, "Fuck it. I was gonna switch the name anyway."
in this fight, he will lose regardless.
Okay, here's the thing. I understand what you're saying, JP, and you are absolutely right. But in today's society, we are living in fucking cancel culture society. So I think that he probably looked at it, and everybody else was looking at it, and everybody was like, "Listen, there's no way to get out of this. There's that happened." So,
my point is that is not the only reason he is leaving.
I think it's the only reason.
No,
I think to an extent he was probably contemplating getting retired because he's old as shit.
Here's the thing. I don't know if he was contemplating retiring, but I honestly think that he's happy. He may be happy that this happened because I think that this is almost exactly what needed to happen in order to push him into retirement.
He's not going to jail.
Oh, no.
I mean, the one thing I'll say
because again, it's all allegation. It's all allegation that he did this with the company's money. Nothing's been proven. I think he's stepping away because he doesn't want to be part of the controversy.
I mean, I think
the only reason I don't think he's guilty of anything, especially if he used his own fucking money, because then they have no fucking leg to stand on.
They're still his employees. They're still just as guilty.
I understand that, but they can't. They're trying to bust him for company money. And that's not what he did.
Yeah, he used his own cash.
Oh! I used my own cash to have sex with that girl that works for me.
No, he used his own cash for her. Not
goddamn agreed to it, so
yeah,
I mean,
you signed a contract. There's no
right, but I mean,
of your own free will.
It was of their own free will, but in the same sense,
the thing is, he didn't pay for sex. He paid for her to not talk about sex.
The only way it becomes any bit of fucking jail time or he's a fucking pedophile because he's not a fucking pedophile.
No. These were women that were well over
this shit all over fucking Twitter, and it's making me sick.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't look at all that fucking bullshit. This is why I wish they never would have became a fucking public company, because the day that they did that, wrestling was going to change forever. And no matter how anybody looks at AEW or any other fucking wrestling business, it's fucking entertainment. And until until everybody gets what WWE is doing, as far as the entertainment aspect, nobody's going to get any better. If it wasn't for Vince, we would probably still be fucking looking at the fucking caged barricades.
Yep.
To this day.
I mean, also, you brought up AEW, and another spin-off that I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't want to go there yet, though. because
okay.
It's going to change the conversation completely. I'd like to hear Connor's viewpoint on it, because he's a huge wrestling fan too, and I've got a bit to add. But Connor, you go ahead, man.
I will try to cliff note this as much as possible because I don't want to take up too much time on this. But first, I can't stress the importance of this is a big fucking deal. Whether you're of the opinion of he's still gonna have his hands in creative or whatnot. Either way, this is a pivot shift in a major way for the company. It's a big deal. We may not feel the ramifications of it right now, and I think we talked about this very briefly on the GM mode stream last night. That you're probably not going to see this from a creative standpoint much change. I would estimate 6 months down the road, maybe WrestleMania season or after that, is when you're going to start to see an actual change as far as that goes. I really
hope that they take it to NXT. I really hope they fucking do an
NXT. Thing needs it. From what I've seen, the whole thing needs it.
No. I mean, I hope that they make main roster the way that it was when Triple H.
Oh yeah, well,
first started NXT.
There's still things / people in there that are Vince influenced, I guess you could say. So my guess is that
suckers, go ahead and say it. Yep.
I mean, that's tomato penis. It's not going to be an immediate fix as far as that goes. as far as the whole idea of him being like, prosecuted and charged and whatnot, with all due respect to the women and the people that he was having these relations with, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to those women and like sweep what they did or what happened to them under the rug or treat it as if it was not a big deal. The fact that he wasn't prosecuted or charged is in this scope almost irrelevant. Because yes, what he did may have been legal speaking as far as like the NDA and everything, and from a legal perspective, okay, but it's still really, really fucking bad. It's not a good thing. Whether you're looking at it from
quick, Connor?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. With the NDA. Since he made them sign non-disclosure agreements and they actually ended up talking about it, can't he turn around and sue them?
It doesn't mean that they talked about it. It means that it came to light. So that could have been an external party speaking up.
Okay.
It depends on the specifics.
But if it turns out that it was them.
NDAs usually have a term, but I can guarantee it's not 3 years.
So NDAs can be very weird because they can be there's all sorts of different guidelines. It could be like you can never talk to a news outlet about this. You can never talk to X about this. You can't publicly disclose this for X amount of time. I don't know the details.
But so say one of these girls ended up talking to a friend who talked to a friend and that friend made it public. There's no real way to say that they broke the NDA because it's all behind closed doors, right?
Right. And so my point is that like even if he's not going to get prosecuted or any like criminal charges or anything like that, which it is what it is. But my point is that the damage has already been done. As far as like in the context of this, again, I'm not trying to like disrespect or throw under the rug what those women experienced and like the trauma or whatever you want to call, whatever they dealt with. I'm not trying to undermine that, but at this point, what's done is done. And what I was curious was, we kind of were talking about cancel culture a little bit earlier in the chat here beforehand. It's like, yeah, we do live in an age of cancel culture. And I would argue that if we were not in this age, in this time of that, he wouldn't be out. He would have ran all the way as far as humanly possible until he physically couldn't. He would have fucking done the job of CEO from home as much as he humanly possibly could have.
Yeah,
he literally would have wheeled himself out on the ramp in a wheelchair at 95 years old. Like,
he's made this joke, but literally everyone around him has made this joke, which makes me think it's not really that much of a joke. And I mean, look, yes, he paved the road. He will go down as the most successful wrestling promoter in the history of the world. There's bar none. There is no other person on this planet that you can say that is the most successful wrestling promoter. That being said, not saying he's the greatest. I'm just saying he was the most successful. Because of obviously other things on the side, and you can go back and forth with all the different and go through the fucking laundry list of things he's done right and wrong, and go back and forth on the moral high ground and blah blah back and forth. The point of it is though is that this was a gun to your head situation. This was there was no way for him to return to his position without something happening or something changing. And I think that it just kind of goes hand in hand with he's fucking 77 years old. What realistically, all like joking and like, us fandom and the creative shit aside, realistically, what good would it have done for Vince to go back?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is with him, it's his life work. If you're so rich to retire and you don't retire and you stay working till 77, that's something else. You're dedicated to that being your life work and being remembered for that. Him just like walking away from it, it's the scandal has all to do with that. It's 100% true.
But yes, it has all to do with it, but it's not the only thing that has to do with it.
It's the main catalyst for him leaving, in my honest opinion. The one thing I am looking forward to with this is the changes that might be made with Vince McMahon being the overlord of okaying things creatively. If he's not going to be there to do that, and I see that with bunny ears because he might be retired, but God knows.
That's what I mean.
With him not being there to do that, if they make further changes, if you start to see changes like other creative pillars of the company taking a hike, then you might see changes in the way that they run the business. Until that happens, I don't think anything's really going to change.
No, there's not going to be any change, at least not for a while, because there's already embers in the fire for stories and stuff like that they have going on right now that are long-lasting to at least WrestleMania season.
Right.
I'm also saying for like future booking, if they don't have like Triple H taking a role is not going to change the fact that the creative team is still the creative team. And
Well, that's what I mean, is
there's
that
a mantra
there's still
that exists there
Right.
to appease the boss.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is that there's still people who have similar mindsets of Vince or similar styles to Vince, good or bad, that are still going to. There's going to be ripples of Vince's creative
For years.
for years, both good and bad. That's going to go on well even after he's passed away and he's gone. That being said, this is. I'll be honest. Like I honestly thought that it would be some sort of major health issue that would take him out, and then I don't want to speak ill or like
I thought
wish
he'd
this
just
upon
die,
him.
and that would be it.
That's
Like,
kind of what I thought, to be honest with you.
That's
Like
what I thought it would take.
so like it's just kind of baffling that I never thought it would be this soon. But to JP's mention about like, is this the only reason he retired? No, I would probably say that this is 80% of the reason. And lining up with the timing, though, not only in terms of the allegations, but like I said,
sucks.
if this happened 20 years ago,
No, he's there. He's staying there.
he's staying there. Or even fuck it, let's go back right before they went public.
Anything before 2010, he's staying there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think it's just the. I personally think Vince should have retired a couple of years sooner. Personally speaking. Not even just from the creative, just from personally speaking, 77 fucking years old.
Yeah, just have some life outside of that.
But it's going to be very interesting. I think that it's time for a change. I also will say this. I think this pushes WWE a gigantic step forward to being sold.
I don't know about that.
I don't. Because
Not
the
saying
reason why I
immediately,
don't is because they here's the thing. There was an interview done just not too long ago with Stephanie and Triple H, and they were discussing all about how not only do both of them want to remain in the company for a long time, but their daughters want to be in the company. Their 14-year-old is already training to become a wrestler. Like, she wants to be an in-ring wrestler, and the oldest one, I believe it is, she has more of an interest towards the business aspect like Stephanie does. But I feel like this company they're going to do whatever it takes to try to keep this company in the family. That's just my personal opinion.
As close to it as possible.
Exactly. And I mean, first of all, I want to say
Maybe.
Bad timing for Shane. But
Yeah.
you got Shane's voice too, and there's no way in hell that Stephanie and Triple H are going to hold, whatever happened with Shane. There's no way that they're going to hold that against those boys.
I personally
So-
feel like
That
the selling the company is the dumbest fucking move they'd ever do. To be honest, like, you're cutting yourself out of what could be your moneymaker for the next couple generations. Selling the company, you're going to give up you're going to give up control. And when you give up control, especially if a big company buys that shit, it's gonna fucking bury it.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's a
the thing
I'm not
is,
saying
though,
it's a good decision. I'm just saying is that I think there are pieces in place that make it easier for them to do so, because there were moves that they made, especially after the pandemic, that made me raise an eyebrow, that made me go like, that's interesting. Why are they doing that? And the only thing I could think of was they are positioning the company as best as they possibly can. Not saying it's going to be immediate. I'm not even saying it's going to be in the next 5 years. I'm just saying is that if it's going to get sold, this is a giant step in that direction to go that way.
Well, I mean,
They're also
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Trek.
They're also negotiating new TV deals, I believe, beginning the start of next year.
Well, Trek, they're on TV weekly, so why wouldn't you
No, they're
negotiate?
negotiating new deals because the deals are coming up, so they're going to try and get as much money as possible. And I know there's a bunch of bidders who want those deals too.
I
Yeah,
understand that, but they have to. Well, is it 5 years already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox one's up, I
ju-
think, next year.
Just
2 years, 2 years.
I
If it
don't
was
think
me-
they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna come out. Fox will give them.
If it was me, I would not sell. There's no
Well,
reason to do
it's
so.
just really, I understand what you're saying, Connor, and I can agree with it to a certain extent, but I just Triple H, fine, whatever. But Triple H has WWE in his fucking veins.
Exactly.
You know,
Why
like
would he they all
and
do.
Not only that, but Stephanie has been born and bred to be in the position that she is in right now. And even Shane, to a certain extent, I realize he got fired. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if that ever even came out. But
He tried to throw his weight around that Royal Rumble and got in trouble.
Nothing's
Okay.
nothing's permanent in wrestling.
right. But like, you know, these are people that wrestling is in their blood, and they're kids. Shane's boys, Stephanie's girls. Wrestling is in those kids' blood too. It's all that they know, and I don't see them, especially Stephanie and Triple H. I do not see them selling the company because it is who they are.
The finances don't match up for me to sell a company and walk away, or like, I mean, say what happens. Disney buys it, say for instance, they keep everybody on staff, but eventually you won't have to say you want, and everything goes to shit. If it's making money and you're in control, and you love it, why in the fucking world would you sell
Not only
it?
that, but I have a feeling. I have a feeling that because Stephanie and Triple H, they're a little bit more in tune with what people are asking for or what the fans.
Stephanie's
want.
had her
You know,
troubles
we saw that.
because she got
Yeah, but sorry.
with her being, I think she was in control. Before she said she was stepping away, they were the shareholders. I've read. I don't know if this is true. Were kind of unhappy with the performance of whatever she's in control of at the company. I can't remember if it was like creative.
The women's.
or something.
She was over the women's division, wasn't she?
It was more than that. She was in control of them more than that.
Brand officer.
Yeah, they weren't happy with what was coming back from what they were doing, basically, and I think that might have been part of why she stepped away.
Okay, remind me again. What is Triple H doing in the company now?
He's
I know
executive
he's-
price
John
president,
Laurinaitis.
head of
Head of talent relations and
Okay.
CEO.
So he was doing. It's what he was doing about 4
Right.
years ago. But
Yeah,
Time to play the game. How you play it?
Best for
I knew
talent
he came
relations.
back. Well, I knew he came back to the same position. I just couldn't remember what position it was. But that's the best position for Triple H, first of all, because he's great at finding talent. We saw that in fucking in NXT. And honestly, I think if push comes to shove, what they're gonna go to is they're gonna do almost exactly what Triple H did to NXT. And just give the main roster a fucking overhaul. And personally, I'm on fucking board with that because I loved what he did with NXT before Vince took over NXT. I
It's
fucking
still,
loved
it's
it.
still with all the storylines. It's going to take time.
But it's
You
also
can't-
I
so
understand that,
dependent.
but-
It's also so dependent on the creative team that exists, and the the thing is, Triple H is not in charge of all those things that pre-existed.
But
when
Triple
Vince
H
McMahon
and
was there.
Stephanie is yes, but Triple H is in Stephanie's ear. They are married. They are together 24/7. You know, but
I mean, she has to listen to him.
you are absolutely right. But
I do think like
just
if
I feel like they're gonna approach it more like a family. I'm sorry.
if some of the other blocks fall, like Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn needs to get the fuck out.
Some of the other blocks fall,
He's gonna be
and
gone.
then you have like more of like a reinvigorated way of making the roster work. I think we're actually going to see. I'm hoping that in about a year at next year's after WrestleMania, we're going to see just more focus on wrestling, a bit more focus on wrestling, and having better in-ring matches than
Well,
the stupid shit that they do all the time.
and honestly, I mean, Stephanie was like she was such a fan of what Triple H had going on in NXT. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them get rid of the soap opera writers and bring in fucking old wrestlers like they had in NXT, like the retired wrestlers to fucking write the script.
You
And
need
honestly,
a
I think that that's
combination
what
of the
needs
two.
to. No, I think that the fucking old wrestlers did a fucking phenomenal
There
job.
have always been soap opera.
I'm going to
writers,
say this
Gina.
right now, Gina. When it comes to the producing of matches, they already have old wrestlers in place for that.
Right. But
But
I'm
it's
talking
also,
about for like the
time
writing,
management.
like for creative.
I think
I
creative.
don't want a wrestler. I don't like that.
I mean, it depends on how good they are at the job. I don't think I don't think they should just be hiring on. I worked
Right,
on
but
this
I
TV
also-
show. I don't know anything about wrestling. They've hired people and publicly have said they have never seen wrestling, and they're going to write creative for wrestling, which is stupid because a lot of wrestling is about the actual fight. And if you don't like the fighting and you don't get into fighting, then how can you write creative for leading to that point? That's your climax.
Then you have somebody like what's his name? Is it Dewey Foley? Foley's son?
He got fired.
Yes.
I thought.
He got fired.
Yeah, he got fired because he fucking sucked. But this kid, he grew up in the wrestling business.
That don't mean shit.
But I mean, you know,
Up to his
I
job.
mean,
It wasn't
his
that
dad
he was a bad
phenomenal. Let's
wasn't-
not kid ourselves.
he wasn't a bad writer per se. It's just you would think that him with growing up in the wrestling world that he would know a little bit more about how to write a fucking wrestling script. This isn't Days of Our Lives. Like
I'm gonna say this: just because you know how to fucking wrestle doesn't mean you know how to write a story.
okay, but he didn't know how to wrestle.
Hey, you
Huh?
know how to write a story.
He didn't know how to wrestle. He was a writer.
I'm just saying that in general.
I think the only reason
I
he
mean,
got that
I
job
hear
was
what
his last
everybody's
name.
saying. Wrestlers writing, no.
I mean, some of them
because
can
you
do
can
it,
wrestle doesn't mean you can write.
but that's the thing. You should be
So
hired
I'm
off
talking about the
of
ones.
what you
yeah, the
can
ones that-
do, not
Yeah,
who
the
you
ones
know
that
and
can't
what
do it.
your name says.
Like
Right.
who?
So, like for instance, a lot of people in wrestling, it's like, hey, we're gonna hire this person because they have this person's name. How often has that happened and they failed? Because they're
honestly-
hired off of like we used fucking Charlotte Flair is one of the most glaring exceptions to that. But Foley, Foley didn't understand fucking much except for getting hit.
You know what? Like honestly, JP, you asked two that I can think of off the top of my head were both in NXT, and it's fucking Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels. They know how the wrestling business works, and they were pretty goddamn good at writing the script too.
But they
They're
weren't-
an
they weren't-
exception
they weren't
to
writing.
the rule. They're an exception.
They
to
were.
the rule.
They were in charge of creative. They were fucking writing
Shawn
and
Michaels was
stories and
producing
all that.
matches.
They're the
They were,
exception.
they were creative too,
I'm
basement.
just saying, in general, just because you know how to fucking wrestle doesn't mean you know how to write for said wrestling
Right,
show.
but you're okay. What I said, you're taking it as like a fucking broad thing. What I'm saying is like the wrestlers that can prove that not only do they know what they're doing as far as like what needs to happen in the match because they've been there, but the ones that can prove that they can actually write a good story along with
But
that.
who besides Road Dogg and Shawn Michaels?
I mean, I could say
That's
there's,
where
there's,
you interview people.
there's
Hello.
probably a couple because as long as you look at the wrestlers that have, especially in the heyday of wrestling where like the writing was very loose and it was more based on the wrestler that could cut a promo and make a story for themselves or make a story work off of the
Honestly-
promo that they were saying. Like I trust probably like not to write but at least direct a writer to write a good story. I'd probably trust any of the top tier guys in the past. Shawn Michaels is one of them for sure. I would say Stone Cold, The Rock,
It's
any
a
of those
fucking
guys,
shame.
but I don't think they should write more than direct writers, I guess.
It's also a fucking shame that they let William Regal go because William Regal would have been a good one too.
William Regal has said many a times he can choreograph the fight, but he cannot write the fight.
I'd
No,
also
but
say,
like Basement was saying,
Joe-
like somebody to like direct the writers on like, okay, this needs to be done.
the
which
thing
is
is,
why-
when they hire people that don't understand wrestling to write for wrestling, then you need that. But you shouldn't have to have someone directing. You should have to, if they want to like ask somebody backstage to be like, how would you think? What do you think about this? What do you think? Where should we go with this? But I would never be in a position where person I'm hiring has no idea about the business that I'm hiring them for. Sure, they're writers, but just because you wrote on Charmed doesn't mean you can write for wrestling.
I do not disagree with that. When they started hiring the soap opera writers,
I was fucking done.
When I heard that they hired people that didn't know what wrestling was, I was like, what the fucking Christ?
The biggest one was the woman who didn't know who the fucking champion was. I think his name was Bobby.
I mean, they have writers writing creative stories, and now they have. It's weird how they do it. The writers write just to write a promo is what they do. They should base it on the fight that the two are going to have, but they don't do that.
Well, if they look down the line and said...
That's where the wrestler needs to find that creative juice and put it out. But a lot of them don't want to fucking do that.
Well, I mean, the problem with writing for wrestling is it's so reactionary, right? I mean, people talk all the time about long-term booking, but you can't look at saying, oh, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, in 6 months we're going to have a Hell in a Cell, and we need to build up to make that match make sense.
You just blew my SmackDown creative writing for the next fucking thing. Thanks.
What cracks me up about this whole thing is that as soon as he announced he was retiring, it's like, oh no, Sasha and Naomi will come back. Like, that was never the problem. Vince was never the problem with that.
Cody Rhodes is solving racism. Didn't you hear?
Yeah,
he's doing it again.
Since we veered off into left field, can I bring up Tony Khan now?
Yeah, I think that's probably...
Fuck Tony Khan.
Yeah, bring up that petulant child.
God damn it.
Listen, I like AEW. I do. Okay.
Then how can you like? Then how can
he's the little brother trying to be cool in front of his big brother's friends.
Here's the thing.
He's daddy's little boy.
Okay. Like AEW, I liked Tony Khan when it first started, but he has proven that he is nothing more than a perpetuant child and a fucking mark. That is all he is. Like, what he had on Twitter, Vince announces his retirement. Whether you like Vince, you don't like Vince, you have to fucking respect what Vince has done. I mean, even if with all the controversy going on, you have to fucking respect that man's career, because like he put his life and soul into that fucking company, and he did great. But Tony Khan basically just like fucking spit in his face. Oh well, now I'm the longest running CEO. Blah blah blah. You are such a fucking child.
So here now,
this is like the zenith of everything that's happened prior.
He's so fucking petty.
What did I say 4 years ago when this company fucking started? What did I say about the cons? Exactly what you just said.
They're nice people.
Right.
The cons are the worst. They're worse than Vince McMahon in my eyes.
They are, and he proved it. I mean, it was completely distasteful. Completely distasteful and classless. It's like, do you have no fucking class whatsoever? Like, you can't say... Exactly.
What's up,
He
Frank?
thinks he's the new Eric Bischoff.
It's like Tony
He's
Khan.
an idiot, because honestly, if Vince McMahon didn't exist, you'd have nothing to do with wrestling. You
Exactly.
coked out fucking fuzzball bitch.
Yep.
He is. This really frustrates me because I love the Jacksonville Jaguars. I said 4 years ago when he started this company, this would be the demise of the football team. Everything takes a back burner for this guy. He's their money guy for the fucking Jaguars. He's more focused on fucking what Vince McMahon is fucking doing than actually fucking doing his job.
I mean, he technically is kind of doing his job because, you know, he's CEO of AEW, but...
I just hate the pot shots after pot shots
if
after
he
pot
would
shots.
focus more on fucking doing what he needs to fucking do, like running real world shit...
Right, but like...
I mean, you don't take pot shots at
AEW.
Come on, man.
You don't
You're
take
more
pot
worried
shots.
about what fucking Vince McMahon is doing than fucking just shut the fuck up and be you. I don't fucking want to.
You don't want him to be him because he's a fucking coked out fever dream.
He's a fucking idiot.
You don't take
Basement
pot
boiler thing?
shots.
There you go.
You don't take pot shots at the whole reason you probably like wrestling.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you can.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is it wrong? Yeah.
I'm going to say this
bottom
right
line is,
now.
It's akin to being like, say another wrestler retires, Edge retires, and you hated him the whole time. You're gonna fucking post on Twitter that fuck this guy, I hated him the whole time. You're not gonna get a good reception. It's so insensitive and dumb as shit to say.
Well, we already have someone doing that. His name's Ryback because he's a little bitch.
Ryback.
What were you gonna say, Heather?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this right now. If it were not for Vince McMahon, Tony Khan would not have 90% of his fucking roster right now.
Yep.
Tony Khan, I'm dwelling on Tony Khan and I don't want to. But this fucking guy, man, I swear to God, I said this shit 4 fucking years ago. Nobody fucking listened to me.
He's a step away from turning away his own fucking fans, honestly.
Yep.
And honestly, a lot
of doing that, basement.
Yes, he has started doing that to a lot of people, myself included, because I love the wrestling aspect of AEW. I do. I enjoy the show. But when he starts interjecting himself into certain things that he should not be interjecting himself to, that's when I'm like, okay, whoa, you look like you're a 5-year-old fucking child that just saw their favorite wrestler. Like, just can calm down there, cokehead. Like, Jesus Christ.
There's a real joke. No, he doesn't own them, but he is CEO of the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as the analytics guy for the Jaguars, as well as the financier.
This is my problem with the fucking cons. They're more worried about what Vince McMahon is doing than the actual thing that is fucking making them the fucking money besides the other business that they fucking own.
Yep. Well, the thing is no matter...
It's losing them money, and they don't see it.
Well, and no matter what, I mean, I understand what you're saying about the football aspect, but to stick to the wrestling part of it, no matter what...
You know how hard it is to fail at a football team? You get fucking money from the NFL every fucking year.
We're not going to stick to the wrestling part of it, okay.
Well, it's my point is,
Gina, look who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's true. No, but like, okay, my whole point with bringing up the Tony Khan thing, and I understand JP fucking hates Tony Khan, I get it. I'm quickly jumping on board with you here, but my whole point was very, very fucking distasteful, and it just left a lot of the things that he has been doing lately is leaving a really bad taste in my mouth, which is one of the reasons why I enjoyed the fucking MJF mic drop shit as much as I did, because he called all of it out, whether he was supposed to or not. I don't give a fuck. But it was so fucking distasteful. And a lot of the people that I know that are AEW fans were even saying, whoa, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, whether you like or WWE or not, that's kind of fucked up, you know?
Mm-hmm. I saw the Twitter thread, and, like, everybody underneath it is, like... 80% were shitting on him doing this, and I know
it's classless. It's completely classless.
But that's his MO. And I mean, for how long have they taken pot shots at WWE without WWE doing anything? And like, this is just like ramping up to him being as disrespectful as possible. There is a reason. Like, if you're respectful of what came before you, people will probably respect you for being respectful. But if you want to be a fucking gutter rat and talk shit, people understand and get that real fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Connor, I'm reading the responses now. They're fucking hilarious.
Connor, you were saying that he's wrong anyway with what he said. Who would be the longest reigning CEO now active?
Oh, there's another person. Yeah. ROH.
If you want to get technical into it, I mean, either the guy from Anthem, Court Bauer, who owns MLW, Billy Corgan has technically owned the NWA since 2017. So he's technically wrong, which is even more icing on the cake with this. By the way, there's a couple things to note. First and foremost, like I said, Tony is basically the little brother trying to look cool in front of his big brother's friends. When Gina said Vince has put everything, his heart and soul in his company, I don't know if you guys heard me, I yelled across the room, and also his dick. And then the last part of it is just, if I guarantee you, I would put hard-earned money down that if Tony Khan had the opportunity to have lunch with Vince McMahon,
he would do it.
He would do it in a fucking heartbeat, and he would hug him after the fucking bill came. Like, it just...
He probably also paid for it.
He probably also go to the bathroom and snort some coke before he tried to hug him. Yeah.
It's just bad. It's just a bad fucking look when you already have a preconceived notion from about a half of your audience that you are just you're not professional in that. And okay, Mark, but like I mean, technically we are all Marks, but it just it comes like across as if you're a low. You're Yeah, he's just like a petulant man-child with like a big bank account that like wants to play promoter.
Yeah. Honestly, Connor, I don't know about if any of you guys agree with this, but honestly, if anything's going to take AEW down, it's going to be Tony.
Yeah.
It's going to be his actions because he's a little bit too big for his britches, and he doesn't know how to fucking deal with it. Because if it wasn't for the wrestlers that he has on staff that, like, you know, whether you like them or not, the Young Bucks and a couple of the other ones that are Kenny Omega that are the VPs and a couple of the other people that they had, like the legends that they have in the back that are producers or whatever. If it wasn't for them, he wouldn't have a leg to fucking stand on. He'd just be running around a ring by himself.
You know how many movies I've seen that had his dynamic of like the kid that has no talent and is rich as shit and it wants to hang out with the athletes and stuff because he thinks they're cool and tries to hang in the locker room with them, but in the end, you're a fucking dweeb. And
he's literally the douchebag version of Richie Rich.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trek. You were
saying he's douchey rich.
All I could say is that he thinks he's Teflon, but he better take lessons from the WCW failure before him because there's always someone waiting there to just cut him down.
Said I was waiting for it, Trek. You said he thinks that he's Teflon, and I was gonna say, is he gonna give me cancer? Like,
yes, it's called AEW.
Yes, I was waiting for it because the punchline was there, Trek, and you missed it.
But no, it's like Vince said in the Monday Night Wars DVD. It's like you don't go out to hurt someone else; you go out to help yourself. You don't go out to hurt someone else because then you're just going to end up hurting yourself.
Yeah. I guess this is a great transition since I actually thought this in my head. Speaking of shit, there is an article about, switching gears here, about a guest at Universal Studios who decided to dump feces into an attraction to cause a major shutdown. So this is shitty. Apparently, the two Universal parks are home to many iconic attractions, but of course, both Universal Orlando Resort theme parks are also home to like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. But there was a recent experience at Volcano Bay that left some Universal Orlando guests, quote unquote, I'm not sure why the fuck it has to be quote unquote, disgusted. A guest shared in a recent Reddit thread that another visitor washed feces out of their diaper bag in a water feature in Universal Park. Don't wash your diaper bag out in the water feature within the kids' play area, the guest said. Just because you don't want poop remnants in your bag, it doesn't mean we want poop in the water. As a result, the entire area had to be shut down and evacuated as lifeguards were sent in to clean. Fucking those lifeguards do not get paid enough.
No,
they do not. No.
Yeah, shitty. So it's basically like a Tony Khan smoothie. Why?
Said it 4 fucking times now.
What? What did I say? What? Oh,
like a Tony Khan smoothie. For some odd reason, like a peanut butter smoothie just came in my head. And I'm like,
with like pubes in it.
Yeah. Chunky.
Like a fucking peanut butter cup.
This is why the water rides at big parks, man. You're setting yourself up for fucking horribleness.
Syphilis. Yeah.
But to tie in with this, I saw a TikTok where somebody actually sat there and put up the statistics of the amount of people that did not wash their hands and did not wipe their butts after taking a shit, and then decided to go down the slide at the water park.
Like, I've got serious questions how you do not wipe your ass after taking a shit.
Why would you? My ass is
a really good reason, basement. They ran out of toilet paper in the porta shitter.
But then you fucking crab walk your way.
Yeah.
To salvation. Who hasn't been there where it's like, oh no.
My ass is moist a little bit all the time, and I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to wipe it, because like I wouldn't want swamp ass constantly. I'm not old and gross.
Kobe all over your fucking anus.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just thinking as a mother, and Heather, JP, you guys, anybody that has
JP's
kids,
a mother.
Love how this is starting off. Yep.
you guys are gonna fucking understand. Anybody that has kids is
JP
gonna
as a mother,
understand
you'll know. Go ahead.
Mm.
Shitty.
What? Shut up.
Carried me to 9 turns.
I'm thinking like, okay, when you have to change your baby's diaper, okay, and if they pooped and overnight and you didn't catch it because they were sleeping, and they wake up and they wake up the next morning
with shit in their diaper.
It's like crusted to their little butt. You know, like who would want to walk around with that? Because like, if you're not wiping your ass, that's literally what's going to happen. Your underwear are going to be sticking together. Your fucking ass cheeks are going to be like sealed.
I mean,
shut.
it's not
a
just
lot
babies,
going on there.
It's the elderly.
Disgusting.
You should meet my 3-year-old.
Yeah, would you want to wipe a 90-year-old's ass with crusty shit attached to it?
I mean, it's like your butt cheeks are gonna stick together. That's just nasty. Like, stop being nasty.
It's just a lot of
I'm
things.
not a
It's so
child.
easy to wipe your ass.
Wow.
Like, it's not rocket science. Then again, I did
Listen.
watch My 600-Pound Life, and the guy wiping his ass with a
You
stick.
need to do a PDA on basic hygiene and just keep it up on the channel all the
The
time.
600-pound life guy with the stick. I was like, man, there's no
Oh,
way that's
God.
really clean.
No.
I need a bullet at that point. I'll be very
You know
honest
what?
with you.
I always wondered, like, guys that have like big muscles. Where's Gorilla Strong
Big
when you need him? I have a
dick
question.
muscles.
No, not
Where's this? Where's it?
No, not big.
What the
dick
fuck does
muscles.
this have to do with the turd in the pool?
Didn't she say, did she
said
not say big dick
big-
muscles?
I said big muscles, not big dick
no,
muscles.
no.
Jesus Christ!
Weird.
You were-
Freudian slip.
Alright, fine. Big
Dick
muscles.
muscle.
Yeah. Then you get the stick.
How did they wipe their bum? Like,
What
where's
the
Gorilla
stick?
Strong when you need him? I'm telling you,
gotta
like,
get
he's
the
all
stick.
muscly and have questions.
You gotta get a
Gorilla
spotter.
Strong's like, Gorilla Strong's like all muscly. I have questions. I need my questions answered. Somebody reach out to Gorilla
I
Strong.
just answered you. A stick or a spotter?
Actually, Braun Strowman answered it on an episode of the Round Table where he just sits there and says, "I'm just so big now, I just front wipe."
Yeah, or you get you know what you do? You get
He's got shit balls. Oh,
you get a bidet.
Yes.
That's true.
Shit's good.
Yep.
You get one of those
I don't know.
toilets that's in
Listen,
the
front
shower with
wiping
you.
Listen, front wiping is just nasty. That's
Well,
Yeah,
for women, it's the worst. For guys, it's just shitty balls.
You get shitty balls. That's disgusting.
I want shitty balls, a shitty walk.
You don't wipe your
You want shitty balls?
You end up with a shitty crab walk.
And we've all
Oh,
crab
God,
walked.
that's a tongue twister.
That's
You
not
just
hit
get one of those
ourselves.
toilets that's located in the shower with you.
Has everybody crab walked? I've crab walked multiple
When you do a
times.
handstand in the shower,
That's it.
your balls are tugged.
Tim, it was not a totally random tangent, okay? It was related to the poop.
Crab
All
walk.
I could think when I heard turd in the pool was Caddyshack.
Oh my god! But yeah, seriously, who does this? Like, who does this?
That's my question. First of all, why is there poop in the diaper bag? And two,
Because that's where poop goes.
why are you washing it in a public area instead of going to the fucking
Yeah.
bathroom?
Thought that's what it was for.
Ew.
Yeah, like that's just nasty. Like, oh god. Okay, so like my mom's a
No,
custodian,
where's this
right?
going?
No, it's not a random tangent. It has to do with poop. Okay, but my mom. Okay, so like my mom is a custodian, and there are certain cultures. I will not specify which ones because you know for no racisms. But when they wipe their ass, for some odd reason, they seem to think that they're going to run out of toilet paper. So instead of flushing their toilet paper, they put it either on the floor or they'll put it in like the little tampon dispenser box.
This is first of all,
Not even shitting you.
this is a cultural thing or just a fucking
It
shitty
is.
person thing?
Oh, it's a cultural thing because like a lot.
In what
most of the people
culture
that
is
I
it
know-
like I must place my shit towels on the floor?
Oh no! Here's
Praise
the thing.
be
The
to Allah.
No, listen. The reason why it's a cultural thing is because where most of these people come from, whether it's from the southern United States or south of that,
I don't know about this
they
cultural
don't have-
shit.
they don't
Practice.
have proper. If you would listen to me, I'm explaining it to you. They don't have proper septic systems where they're from, so they are taught, especially down south and a lot of places down south, they are taught to put their shit paper in the garbage can instead of flushing it. But instead of putting it in the garbage can, these people are leaving it on the floor. They put it in the tampon dispenser. And no, you guys really want to know the
garbage can?
No, you know what's really fucking disgusting about this whole thing? This is my whole point.
Oh, please tell us what's the most disgusting thing about this whole thing. Please enlighten me.
My poor mother is finding this shit all over the time. But she finally asked these people why they do that, okay? And they said, "Oh, it's because in case we run out of toilet paper." And my mom says, "Well, how the fuck do you know which one is yours?" Because there's like 50,000 of them in there.
We run out of toilet paper. We put shit-filled toilet paper on the ground.
Hear me out. This is what they tell her. I hand to God, I swear to God, this is the fucking truth. They told her that it does not, like, they don't care which one they grab. They just grab. So they're wiping their ass.
The communal thing. Okay.
Oh, well, it's just a feces swap?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah. But my poor mother has to pick this shit up all the time. So, like, relatable to the fucking lifeguards at Disney. Like, people, stop being nasty.
Man, you took me on a journey that I never wanted to go on.
For those of you not watching that video, Connor had to mute himself because he was dying laughing.
It took you on a journey, but it came full circle. You see, because
the
poop brought it back.
The part that cracked me up the most was I was on the exact same mindset as Basement, and he said everything that was on my mind, and I was fucking nearly pissing myself because, like, this is a cultural thing.
What?
Like, how in the fucking shit? No pun intended. Is this a goddamn culture? Oh my god!
To summarize, do not shit at Universal Parks.
The moral of the story is we're all fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Don't even shit in your pants. Shit in someone else's pants. And say it's cultural.
Oh my god.
So I don't have too much to say on this topic, but yes, I concur with Basement. Stop shitting in pools, people.
Shit somebody else's pants.
I mean, isn't the toilet just a little pool?
I mean, that's an option, of course.
Oh my god.
Okay. I haven't laughed that hard since Euro Truck Simulator. All right.
Oh god.
So speaking of shitty,
over. Get off the boat.
Speaking of shitty things, this just makes this is a giant. I read about this. I saw this on the news, and this is like the biggest like shake my head moment of the 17 members of Congress getting arrested.
Yeah, I love this shit.
Every single one of them should be out of a fucking job.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know,
it's photo op more than it is anything else.
It's the right of every American. But here's the thing. This is I probably will just horseface. So
did he just say horseface?
Yeah,
I did. I called AOC horseface.
Oh,
so you're always bitching about what were they disputing this time?
I think it's abortion.
Oh yeah.
I'm not against them disputing.
Instead of being out in the streets protesting, which is your right, by the way.
Right.
The government's paying you, or the people, the people are paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars to make the laws so that you can make those rights legal. Correct? Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
All right.
They could be sitting there discussing with their counterparts instead of fucking being out on the streets, fucking protesting. That's where I have an issue. Although it is their right to do said protest, don't you have a job?
Right, but my issue comes into play. They got arrested, which means that they were probably not peacefully protesting because they're not just going to arrest people that are just peacefully protesting.
So hold on.
And not only
what
that,
happened? What happened? At least from
okay,
what I read.
Okay. Hold on. Let's back up. Let's back Soul Train up. Connor, you want to say you were going to go into describing
it? Get that off my chest.
I was just going to recap for those of you who don't know what the hell we're talking about. 17 members of Congress were among those arrested Tuesday during an abortion rights demonstration outside the Supreme Court, according to the U.S. Capitol Police. The police say they made a total of 35 arrests for crowding, obstructing, or incommoding. Incommoding. I don't know. Which included 17 members of Congress. Protesters had perched themselves on First Street, near the Capitol building, blocking the street. Capitol Police said they issued their standard 3 warnings before beginning the arrests. A spokesperson also confirmed multiple arrests of members of Congress and said that one of the representatives was among those arrested. I guess the reason I saw this also blow up was because, of course, AOC was confirmed. She said that she was one of the ones arrested.
She's proud of that.
Which, did anybody else notice that, like, they, like...
None of them had handcuffs.
Yeah, it looked like they, like, just were escorted off.
Here's the thing. From what I understand, the reason everybody, like, they got arrested was because in order to, like, protest, you have to file a motion with the place you're protesting.
You do.
And they didn't do that. And then being in the position they are, they should have known. It's a fucking photo shoot, is what it is.
All they're going to get is a fine out of the whole thing. It's just a fine.
So first of all, the reason why the arrest started happening, one was they did not have a permit for protest, which is the document you were talking about. Anywhere that you protest in the United States, you have to file a motion for a permit in order to do the demonstration within that city. Then the second reason why they started arresting people was they were blocking a major roadway. They were blocking a major roadway that is illegal and that is against the law. Even if they had a fucking permit, it would have still been breaking the city rules, so they still would have started arresting people. Reason why I said that I think that they should be fucking fired is because, like JP pointed out, they are lawmakers. They should be in there. They should be discussing. They should be negotiating, trying to figure out a proper solution to this. However, the reason why I think that they should have lost their jobs is because they are in the position that they are. They need... Listen, I understand it's the right as an American citizen to protest. I understand that. But when you are in a certain position of Congress, Senate, whatever it is, whatever that is higher up in the government, you have to set a fucking example. And the example that they are setting is that of a fucking perpetuant child. You might as well have Tony Khan up there in fucking Congress.
You know what? This is completely fabricated in my mind. 1,000%. For a photo shoot. No, they're fighting for something. Yeah, they're out there. But this is about the people that we're taking pictures of acting like they're arrested. It's a photo op, man. It's so blatant. They know the rules of protesting. And they ignored them to get camera time.
And it's an opportunity for them to be like, "Oh, we're with you," you know.
It's so fake, and I hate it.
You know, we want abortions, blah blah blah. You know, and no matter how you feel about it, whether you're whatever, no matter how you feel about that, you still have to fucking obey the law, especially when you are supposed to be part of the law. You are part of the government. So
they are the one that writes the laws that go through the Senate.
Well, I mean,
that's what I mean. So, like, you are a ring in the system of where the laws are designed.
I mean,
so for you to be out there purposely breaking these laws,
they should
automatically get them fired. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if they have more power than anybody else in terms of how this law went down. The one thing I will say is using something that people want to stand for own public gain makes me fucking hate you, because you're not fighting for that. You're fighting for fucking camera time. And
you're
her smug ass face
status.
And like she comes on Twitter and she's like, "Yeah, we weren't arrested, but I put my hands behind my back because that's standard procedure." So you know standard procedure for police, but you don't know that you can't legally be out there without fuck off, you dumb bitch.
The only time that you see these 4 fucking cons, 4 is a 4. It's 4, right?
It's 4 of them.
The only time you will see these 4 fucking cons is when there is something like this going down. The last time that we saw all of them out there protesting and fucking pretending to get arrested and all that.
Kids in cages.
Yes. And then they did it again with the fucking the George Floyd stuff and the whole racism narrative that they were trying to fucking spin on that one. Now they're doing it with the abortion and the women's rights and all this stuff. JP pointed out, they can make laws, can enact laws. to protect this stuff. So like, yeah, the Supreme Court.
I mean, you can't just like they can't do anything really. To be honest.
Well, make this simple for everybody who might be listening to this on the podcast side. It is their job to be sitting in their fucking offices,
negotiating,
writing a bill to be negotiated, then to be passed on up the chain so that it can become a fucking law
to the Senate.
But
then
it's
they
also,
vote on it, and if it passes,
I mean, then
it goes to the president either to write it off or he vetoes.
To that point too, like I wouldn't have. Thing is, I wouldn't have any problem with this if they had gone through the right process and have been at a protest for this. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that they used it as a photo op is what makes me hate every single one of them that was there.
Of course.
Also, didn't President Biden just sign something into effect regarding the abortion thing? Like,
yes,
where he can't do. Sorry, JP. He can't. But basically, he can't do anything about the individual states. But the individual states were talking about prosecuting women that were going across state border in order to get the abortion. And the law that he signed into effect, from my understanding anyway, JP, correct me if I'm wrong. What?
It's an executive order.
It's an executive order.
Whatever it is.
Totally different things.
An executive order that he signed in is basically preventing the states from being able to personally go after these women that are crossing state borders.
Exactly. I agree with that. What he did.
Like, well, I agree with it completely too. But like,
the whole thing is stupid, man.
And this could have been avoided if he had done his job in the first place and codified Roe v. Wade and made it a fucking
I honestly
law.
Feel like abortion. We've had this talk a million times. All you're going to make is trouble from doing what they did with abortion.
Yep.
And the thing is you're out there protesting, but in the end, unfortunately, this is how it is. The states that have banned abortion, you are not going to get them to change their mind just by being out there protesting. These are states that are very, very, very heavily conservative. You're not going to change their minds. So, like, what are you doing?
A photo op is what they're doing. She wanted to be taken away in pseudo cuffs by a police officer, so when she runs for president, she'll have that back here.
In Washington.
Christ. They don't give a shit what happens in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., they don't give a shit. Man, 98% of the fucking people agree with what she just did in that city.
Because they don't actually see what she did.
Well, not only that,
they don't care. They don't care. That's my point.
Who did we lose? Did we lose track?
We lost
track. But the problem that I have, and the reason why I said that again, why they said they should be arrested is just because, or why they should be fired, is just because it is setting an example to the rest of the people that are either in Washington right now or on their way to Washington, because we have a lot of young people with aspirations to go to Washington, go to Capitol Hill. It is set a further example that there is no repercussions for them breaking the law because they're in the government.
Well, I mean, I feel like the law is like, I mean, they're breaking the law, yeah, but anybody else in this position probably get somewhat the same treatment. Slap on the wrist, get the fuck out of here. You're doing something, we broke it up, it's done. I hate the idea that people are just going to gloss over the fact that they played stupid to get what they wanted.
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody with a brain on their shoulder, like Gina just described, would agree.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be fired. I'm not down with that.
The people that live in the city of Washington, they don't.
The only reason why I'm jumping to they should be fired is because this is not the first time that they've fucking done this. Every single time that they get the opportunity to do this, they are fucking doing it, especially AOC.
I can tell you they didn't even get fined. I can tell you they just walked out free and clear.
I mean most of the protesters would be the same, but still.
I mean, if this would have been, the first time, if this would have been the first time that they did it or whatever, I'd have been like, okay, but they were out there, whatever. But every single opportunity
I say that every time they step out of their fucking office, because then they aren't affecting shit.
wish at like a global scale, or at least like a national scale, they'd be exposed to a point where people would actually listen. But the news won't go that.
Unfortunately, that's never going to happen because of the fact that these 4 women have these 5 women, whatever. They have this aura about them that they are the best women that are for government any way possible.
They're part of a party that controls the media, so come on.
Exactly.
Well, and Alpha just pointed out in this picture, they were smiling. It's not just in this picture. It's not just in this picture. Every single time that they do this shit with the photo op type shit, because they're standing up for fucking justice, quote unquote, they're all smiling. Every single one of them.
Pieces of shit, man.
Because they know that there's not going to be any fucking ramifications for what they are doing.
They're garbage. Connor, you have any thoughts?
They constantly get away with everything that they do because of who they fucking are.
Well,
and frankly, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
I agree, Heather. 100%. 100%.
I don't care about these 5 women. I have not. I know one of them is one of your representatives, or she is a representative.
Yeah, AOC. Yeah. Fuck that fucking cunt.
No, it's Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan Omar. AOC is for New York.
AOC is.
Oh, yeah. Omar, sorry. Omar is ours, and I don't want to claim her. I don't want to claim her. You can have her.
One is Presley, and I can't remember where she's from, and then there's
the other. She shits on the floor and leaves her paper towels on the ground.
These 4 or 5 women, they think they're changing what the government thinks. They're not.
I hate you with your paper.
Nothing's going to happen to them because of the city that they live in. Yes, I know. I'm ignoring everybody. They're fiddle fucking around back there.
Basement just paper towels.
All right.
It comes full circle. It's like
it's just a shitty situation entirely.
They think they have a platform. Yes, people are fucking listening to them, but
yeah. But you know what? It's because of people like this that we have a society that is the way that it is right now. Because they see senators, congressmen, all of these other people in high power positions getting away with it and not having any kind of ramifications, and they think that they can do it too. So then they go out and they're protesting illegally and all this shit, and then they get arrested, and guess what? They don't get to go home like these women do. They get locked up in jail, they have to bond out, and then they have a court hearing and everything else. They don't get just a slap on the wrist like these women, so they're not setting a good example for fucking anybody.
100%. Agree.
Alright, fuck them. Let's move on.
Yep.
Fuck them. Pick up your shit paper.
No, it's cultural.
It's gonna be
They're my heroes, by the way. Look at that fucking one.
Listen, the whole show, we're like on, what is that movie? I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, where it's a circle. It just comes back around. Everything's a circle.
Yeah, like toilet paper on the floor.
Look at that fucking hero. Look at that.
There goes my hero.
I got arrested. Look at me. I'm the shiznit.
Yeah, Tim. We could get going on the fucking news. Don't even get me going on the news because like that.
Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Let's talk about something more positive and more like won't be argumentative.
Well, I can make jokes. Horse face.
No. I was gonna say like let's do something a little more like not non-argumentative or controversial, like. Lia Thomas.
Oh yeah, she's not.
Yeah, like
fuck that.
Wait, what?
Lia Thomas.
Fuck Scientology.
No, it's not Scientology. It's
not Scientology.
Let's talk.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of the Leah Thompson or whatever her name is.
No, the trans swimmer who was nominated for NCAA Woman of the Year award.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Oh come on, let's do it.
Not only did she obliterate her competition, she obliterated her dick.
This is, listen, I am all for trans people and everything like that, but when it comes to trans athletes, I have to agree with Caitlyn Jenner. I have to agree with her. I have to fucking agree with her. That is a transsexual athlete saying that she does not agree with fucking transsexual athletes being awarded or getting into the Olympics or anything like that because it is an unfair advantage. And
the size of that mammoth jam.
Remember the last time we talked about this, and I said like, forcing change will create hate. When you so she's transgender, she's swimming, she's winning. Then when you take the extra step and make her a woman of the year, you're gonna start. That's where things are like.
Here's the
you
problem.
must accept this.
Here's the problem.
She's
Well,
17. Yeah, she's 17 feet tall.
Here's the problem. If she would have started the transition when she was younger, or something like that, then it would have been a different story. But the last time because this is the same woman that was in the Olympics, correct?
I believe so.
I believe.
She's a champion, national champion. I don't know if she's an Olympic champion.
No.
Maybe it was the national championship, because I remember we talked about her before.
I showed this image before too.
But if I remember correctly, she just started the transition a couple of years ago. Because
she was disqualified then because of the hormones in her system from any Olympic event.
Well, yeah, but not the Olympics. The nationals. It was the nationals because if you remember, the girl that came in second place was saying that it's not fair because she's at a huge disadvantage because that the trans girl had just started to take her, like, she had just started her change like within like 2 or 3 years before that, which means that there's still testosterone in her system. Therefore, how the fuck can she be woman in the year?
Her whole body was built off of testosterone in her system. She's got a different skeletal structure and a different mass structure than women. So in a physical sport, it's just unfair. I'm not saying that, like, I mean, inclusion doesn't beat observation of facts. I'm sorry, but like, I mean, you have all these other women that are trying really hard, and you got this fucking gigantosaurus with the wingspan of fucking an albatross.
Well, and I know that even sorry, JP, go ahead.
She looks like Baron Corbin.
She is Baron Corbin.
I know that, like,
she's Brianna Tar.
No, I don't think even she's that.
Jesus. But I feel like if you have a transgender athlete such as Caitlyn Jenner that is saying, hey, this is an unfair advantage to these girls or these boys, or more likely the girls, what the fuck, man? You can argue, oh, well, Caitlyn Jenner was made Woman of the Year. That wasn't her fucking choice. And she even said in her speech that she didn't feel like she deserved that.
The world's fucked up. Like, Woman of the Year should be a
woman.
Yeah. I mean, do people think I'm crazy for saying that? Like, for fuck's sakes. I will say I am for inclusion. It's just like there has to be
limits,
guidelines to how things are treated, because you can't just say 100% floodgates open. Yeah, you can go for this. This relates to that fucking guy that did the the woman swimming thing on YouTube. I think I'm. You know what? Now I don't really feel like I'm 30 years old anymore. I feel like I'm 11. I'm gonna go for the Pee Wee Championships.
Right.
It's like where do you draw? Where do you draw the line? And I get like the problem is way bigger than just like slapping labels on it, but it not acknowledging it as a problem is a failure in our system.
I agree.
It's just I would hate to see. Listen, I don't want trans athletes to be excluded at all. I mean, me personally, like you said, Basement, there's a huge fine line. Something needs to be figured out, whether it's getting them their own team or whatever. But
this is what happens when change happens too fast.
I hate to see having a little girl myself. I would hate to see any little girl get discouraged to the point where they just give up on the sport that they fucking love because they know that they're never going to be the best because they have to compete against a trans athlete. It's not fair.
That's 6'11".
Exactly. Like it's not fair. What she's 6'11", and what was the girl that came in second? Because
like 5'6".
Yeah, and because I don't remember what we were talking about this on the show. I don't remember what news station it was or news sports, whatever it was, but they were actually saying that in their opinion, the runner-up was the actual winner.
In a lot of ways, yes. But also, Tim, to touch on what you said, that's not true because they did have a transgender hammer thrower.
She didn't win.
She didn't win, but she did compete in the Olympics.
She got her ass whooped.
So them saying they will not let trans compete in gender they identify as.
Wasn't there a transgender runner too?
There was a transgender weightlifter too.
Yep.
I just feel like I'm not like the thing is. We're
all
at a
look like
point where the world
transgender.
wants to be like loving arms, holding everybody tight, but there also has to be like an understanding of. I think everything happened too fast, and we're trying to scramble to pick up the pieces of where we should be.
Things right as they can be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're the DC universe, and somewhere else out there, Marvel is fucking kicking our ass.
You know, I feel like I'm such a contradictory to myself because last week I was just fucking like going off about how like transgenders deserve all these rights and all this stuff, which they do. They're like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is something needs to be fucking figured out to where they can make it fair for all of the athletes, because while transgenders deserve the chance to compete, those girls that are out there that are working their whole fucking life and striving to be the best, they deserve the chance to be the best too. And they're at a high disadvantage.
They're at a disadvantage.
They should have. So we do softball tournaments sometimes, used to, where you had to have 5 girls and 5 guys. It's called Kings and Queens tournament.
I played in
one. Why not have sports like that where both men and women can join the sport?
I like co-ed.
I mean, it works.
By all means, if you're transgender and you want to think you can dunk on fucking this guy, then fucking go ahead.
It works for softball because it's not. There's no like
Work
physical.
Work for the Olympics.
The
Olympic sports, you could create a gender-neutral section of teams.
You could, but then again, you might have Shaq with the fucking wig on, dominating everybody.
You could, but you know what?
It'd be also have a guy
gender-neutral
that is on the floor at the same time, who's doing the same thing.
At least then, if they had
if I'm going to make a team that requires 5 men and 5 women, I'm going to get 5 women that used to be men.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I agree with what Heather is saying, because at least then, if you have a gender-neutral team, at least the women that are joining that team know what they're up against.
Exactly my point.
But then also, are you also going to put rules on like the women involved? Can they all be transgender?
Why? They want to fucking get in there and fucking rough it up with a couple of guys? That's on them.
No, but they're going to be roughing up with a couple guys anyway.
Right, but like what we're saying is, if you make a team a gender neutral team, at least they know that it is gender neutral, so that when they go in, they know that they could be competing against transgenders.
Everybody follows the same
rule. So all I'm going to say is, if it's the Olympics and you got the 5 men, are you going to go for 5 women that used to be men?
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. Here's the
We're
thing.
talking about gender neutrality here, basically.
I know, but there's you're talking about competition, and when competition comes down to it, you're gonna get If I had to choose between getting this monster or the girls he beat, who am I gonna pick? For my first girl. For my first girl.
Because it's gender neutral. You're not listening.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I understand.
When it comes to competition,
everybody's talking over me, so it doesn't matter.
You will pick the best possible person to help you win, and if that possible person, more likely than not, will be a man a woman that used to be a man.
Olympics. Basement with the Olympics, you can pick whoever you fucking want. They still have to fucking qualify.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Rules in place. There needs to be rules in place, and whether or not you're fucking transgender, I don't give a shit. There will be rules in place where everybody follows the exact same rules. Everybody knows what rules they are.
Rules.
If you don't like it, get the fuck out.
But
That's all I'm saying.
I don't
Tim,
know.
I don't understand what you
know.
just said.
What I'm saying is,
A gender neutral team, but more than a gender neutral team.
does anybody understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
Basement. When it comes to the Olympics, yes, you can choose your team. However, if that person does not qualify as per Olympic rules, you do not get that person no matter what.
They do have rules.
What I'm saying is, I'd rather have 5 transgenders than 5 women.
I know what you're saying, but I think what JP and Heather, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but what they're trying to say is, if let's say you are a 5'6" woman, okay, 5'6" woman, you are I don't know, 120 pounds, okay, and you're a swimmer, okay, and if you are just on the woman's team, you have to face a man that is a transgender man. You don't have a fucking choice in that. Like, if he qualified and got to that, or sorry, if she qualified and got to that position,
team sports.
I'm not talking about individuals here, Gina.
I understand, but I use okay, fine.
Team sports is where my point makes sense, not individuals.
What is mine? No.
Fine. Let's backtrack and let's fucking not swimming. Some team sport. Okay, let's say
basketball.
Well, swimming is a team sport because you have to relay swim.
You do. So let's 4-on-4 basketball. You have 2 men, 2 women. If those 2 women used to be men, just as long as their estrogen levels are, if this is an Olympic sport or any sport for general,
so
we're
basically making a transgender league.
Essentially, we're making the transgender / gender neutral division.
Right. Inclusion. That's all I'm doing.
I mean, that's gonna have to be how it is, honestly, because if they make just a transgender league, if they make just a transgender league, then they're gonna say, oh my, well you're putting us in this position and we don't have any choice. We can't face any of these other athletes. But if you put them in a gender neutral league where anybody can join no matter what your gender is, then it is on a much more even playing field for everybody, because not only do the transgenders have a league that they can participate in, but anybody who's not transgender, whether it be man, woman, whatever, they can join into that league knowing what they are getting into.
The problem with that is certain sports that favor men physically. Like, if I had a team of 2 guys, so I have a team of 6'8" men, and then 6'8" women that used to be men. The other team, if they go with women that are 5'5", fucked. I'm just saying.
Well, that's their decision.
Well, and I mean, that's just going to have to be.
Why would they go? It's just going to be men and transgender women.
Well, right, but it's the spirit of competition, so I mean, that people are going to do it anyway.
So the women still get excluded.
Not really, because they're choosing to join a gender-neutral league.
But they won't make it.
That is their choice.
They won't make the league. It's not their choice. They're being excluded because they are not included.
I don't know.
Anyway,
does it make sense to anybody but me? Does it make sense to anybody but me?
No.
No, because I understand what they said gender neutral and immediately.
So if it's gender neutral, and I'm gonna make a team for a physical sport, I'm gonna get a team of.
Think of it as.
Understand? Okay, Connor, do you understand what I'm saying? You disappeared into the ether.
Think of it as co-ed. It's just you have gender. You have transgenders
but it's not
in there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with doing it that way, you have the ones that are transgender women that used to be men, but you also have the transgender women that are now men.
But okay, so the best. Never mind. I like the best of the best is not going to be one or the. There's 2 things that are being left out for sure.
Again, you're missing my point. You can't play all those 6'8" guys all the fucking time.
No, it's 4
and
and
if
4.
they're transgender women, they're transgender women. Who cares?
I gotta go get my dog water.
I'm done trying to explain.
Connor, do you understand what I'm saying? Please, God, say yes.
No, I'm just teasing. I think I get where you're coming from. I think what Basement's trying to say is that if
What are you
and
saying?
please someone correct me if I'm wrong on this one, because I'm sure I am. if you had complete and total choice over who you chose in a sport that was involving any gender or any trans people, you would probably want to lean towards people who are more genetically, I guess, physically more advantageous.
This is where I said there has to be rules in place.
Then you're disregarding the whole conversation, because if rules are in place, then you're picking. There has to be X number of women.
Beginning.
So then it's not a gender neutral league. If like we're under the assumption that trans women, men that used to be men are now women, are considered the same as just women.
Biological women.
Yeah. If you're going to put rules in there that say otherwise, that negates the whole conversation.
Whatever. Just move on, please. Because you're totally missing.
What we are saying is put all the transgenders in their own little section, in their own little division to compete in these sports.
That's not what you're saying.
And the biological men and biological women. I'm fucking done talking.
But that's not what you've said up until this point. That's completely different.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is. You said now the transgenders are competing against transgenders?
Essentially, yes. That's what gender neutral would consist of.
No.
Gender neutral would put everybody in at once.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you are.
The furry fuckers.
Right. Anyway, so a woman woke up in a 2-year coma.
I fucking hate everybody. Because what I was saying made sense. And
I think
you're wrong, but that's not what I'm trying. That's not what I was trying to say. It just.
I think let me. Hopefully, I'll put a cap on this and just say that I think this is a statement that we can all agree on. That the fact that the idea of transgendered people and what they want to identify as and be is all well and good. However, when it comes to the area of professional sports, specifically sports that do cater to gender identities. Right, and they specify it is still something that it's in its infancy in terms of being thought out and having a cognitive plan in place to be as equal as everybody is intending to be when it comes to the idea of transgender or gender identity.
And I'm actually more for Heather's idea of having transgender athletes against each other. I just don't think there is enough to make that make.
There are some countries that send 2 people to the Olympics to compete. It does not matter.
Hey, you know what? Start there. That's the right idea, in my opinion. Instead of a gender neutral, start at having the Olympic sports also feature trans athletes against trans athletes.
Perfect. Now, in order to make Basement pissed off, let's talk about the new Resident Evil series.
Oh my god!
Connor's like, for the love of God, let's get away from this.
So, Basement, you want to tell us about that new Resident Evil?
Okay, so I'm a fan of Resident Evil. I've been throughout my life. Played pretty much all of them except for some of the offshoots. And
Village was good.
Yeah, Village was good. The one before was good too. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah. Resident Evil 7. That game's scary.
4 was great. 2 and 1 and even 3. The thing is, okay, so Netflix did an adaptation of Resident Evil, and I don't know if any of you guys checked this shit out, but this has literally almost nothing to do with Resident Evil. They shoehorned in opportunities to be like, we're linked, but you're not. First of all, if anybody knows anything about Resident Evil, there's some major characters. So you got like Chris Redfield, you've got I can't pull them off the top of my head, but you got Wesker, you've got what?
Claire.
She was in it. Claire Redfield. You've got Leon Kennedy. None of these people except for Wesker show up in the show, and they race swapped Wesker, which I'm not really against. The actor is great, Lance Reddick. I'm not against them doing the race swap stuff. It's just like nobody else is in it, and it focuses around teen melodrama. and it has basically the future of what happens to these teens and the present of what happens of them, and nobody gives a fuck about either of them. They're all like dead weight when it comes to like being interested in them. You've ever watched like Paper Try and Act? Resident Evil's for you. Netflix just released it. It's absolute trash, but IGN is like, this might be the best thing ever.
You're saying it's paper towel on the floor.
Exactly. Cultural.
Quality. Yep.
One of the clips I saw of this show, one of the chicks broke out in a fucking musical number. Like, the fuck are you doing?
That's definitely canon for Resident Evil.
And if you watch the show, like, it has like false, everything's a fake out to get you to watch the next episode. It's like, oh my god, she's falling off a building into zombies. The next episode starts, she's fine. Cool. Okay. So what was the...
Yep.
Yeah,
perfect.
It's garbage.
10 out of 10.
It's absolute shit, and I can't believe the fact that, like, IGN, which, I mean, take it or leave it, are coming out and saying, this is the most realistic adaptation. Like, no, it isn't. First of all, you've got, like, a black girl and an Asian girl, and somehow they're twins. I have no idea how that works.
Well, that's what they identify as.
They identify as twins?
Yeah.
God. Give me the Transgender Olympics.
I'm gonna kill you.
Hey, you. The show fucking sucks, man. It's garbage. I hardly got that.
One of the lines in the show also with a still I saw from is, I want Pornhub to shred your resume. Pornhub is taking job resumes now?
Yeah, they are.
Well, that's how you get on there.
Yeah, you interview with your vagina.
Yeah, you go to the casting couch.
You know, there's more than just the fucking performers, you know.
Well, I always thought it was just like YouTube, but the porn version where you upload your
I think it is like YouTube, but the porn version, yeah.
Well, so never mind. I'm not going to get into this because then there's going to be questions of how I know.
So how do you know?
Nope. Now
hey, you're too late now. You opened your mouth.
So Pornhub is like, you have your self-made videos, right? But then you also have your videos that come from like studios. So basically anybody can upload their stuff. And most of the time if it comes from a studio, it's just like an example or like a little sample, so because they want you to buy the porn, which, I mean, who the fuck's going to pay for actual
who's
porn?
Paying for porn, man? I used to masturbate to pictures.
Exactly. Oh, you just have like a little plethora of, different types of porn that you can watch on Pornhub.
So Gina's the expert for the questions like this in the future, in case anybody wants.
But they do have executives at Pornhub.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a ton of money, so it's gonna have.
And they wear glasses and dress like a librarian.
Yep, I hope. I wish. I pray.
There you go.
I hope they flush the fucking toilet instead of leaving it on the ground.
So diverse and cultural.
It is a thing.
It's still shitty. So, we still have a crap ton of stuff to get to, no pun intended. But I figured, did you guys want? I mean, we've been going on for a little while now. I want to stay up too fucking late because there's so many of these things to talk about. What would you say if we dived into like two more subjects? But I'll let you guys, or three, and we'll have you guys pick.
I wish we had this
here on the
conversation before I set this whole thing up.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Like fucking asshole.
We'll save them for the next time.
All right, it's just my time and effort.
He sounds so hurt.
Let's go with the story that I found from last week. The Aubrey Edwards filing for mass DMCA takedowns under a false name.
What's her false name?
What
Jar Jar Binks?
fuck?
No, David Edwin or something like that was the false name.
So what does it actually mean, like in the grand scheme of like what she
in the grand scheme of things, she had created a fake profile on the DMCA website and started telling people to take down AEW content that they had put up on YouTube. And sent some very nasty, threatening emails out as well for all of this. Now, granted, this story started with Ringside News, so I did not believe it until I saw the actual Twitter proof behind it. So
in other words, Aubrey is a cuntbag.
I think she was she is a cuntbag, but I think she was also acting under orders of a certain little coke head.
Yeah.
I mean, she's also a fucking double talker anyway. When she goes on and be like, "I think the role of the referee is to be in the background. Also, when I ref, I do cartwheels and juggle."
I mean, as you do.
I mean, you're not wrong.
She personally attacked one of the people that is part of this whole thing. She's currently under investigation for it as well. He had some content from AEW on his YouTube channel. I don't remember who it was at the moment. And he had gotten a notice to take the video down or risk losing his channel via the copyright strike.
He who shall not be named.
Right.
Starts with a V, ends with a mort.
What did you say it was?
Starts with a V, ends with a mort.
But the claim was first put in, and the YouTuber did his research, and at first could not find this person under DMCA. Then a day later, found this profile attached to this person, and this person sent another email saying, "Take this video down, or we will take legal actions."
Ruh-roh.
I mean, I feel like AEW, as much as they spit off for the people, by the people, or whatever, have been very stringent on content. I've seen so many people saying, like, the stream was taken down because AEW, because of this. I mean, let's be real. There are rules in place for claims, and most of them are true. But a lot of these wrestling companies have bots that will strike you down for the stupidest shit. I'm not stealing your content because I show the beginning of WWE because the game doesn't allow me to fucking skip it.
When I had Renegade Wrestling Podcast, my very first video I did, I had like just a brief, maybe like 10-second long video of just like small little clips, that was sliced together with a song in it or whatever. I got fucking nailed from WWE because of that. And it was only like 10 seconds long.
Videos of Wendy were just the audio of a pay-per-view from fucking 1998. Wasn't showing the pay-per-view at all. All you heard was the audio, and all you saw was Wendy. Those videos got blocked by the bots and muted immediately.
Yeah.
Even now, if I go back and look at those videos, they're not blocked anymore, but they're still muted. So it's
the longest running promoter in wrestling.
Her first fucking word in any one of those videos, I would have been livid. I would have been absolutely fucking livid.
When I recorded wrestling for a game, I paid $80 and then put on the internet, which is a video game, not the actual product. The intro of it got the entirety of the 3-hour fucking stream blocked because it just said WWE now then forever. So
blocked then forever.
Like, I mean, the problem lies with the fact that YouTube is the problem because they're like throw all the bots in the world there. Like the content creators will suffer, but we don't really give a shit about them.
Not until they have at least 10 million subscribers.
Yeah, well then you can you cannot touch them. They are golden.
Exactly.
But it's fucked up. I mean, Aubrey Edwards doing this. I'm not a fan of her. I don't. She's a ref. She's fine ref, whatever. But I hate the fact that she's a showman as a referee.
Yeah.
And she's the instigator of a lot of things more than she is like the recipient.
I used to actually really enjoy her. But then, so because when AEW first started, yes, she was kind of vibrant. She was like ballerina dancing all over the ring or whatever, but she wouldn't get involved with too many matches. You know what I mean? Like, but then all of a sudden she started like placing herself in the matches, and not only that, but she's fucking doing cartwheels and she's fucking all over the ring. She's animated. Eventually I came around to exactly what JP said from the beginning. She takes away from the match.
And
which was like, what referees aren't supposed to do.
She takes away from the match. she distracts from the match, which, yeah, exactly. That's not her fucking job.
If you look at like Earl Hebner or Lil Nate, I mean, most of the time that they're involved is because the wrestler involves them. She takes the approach of being involved because she involves herself. And it's like, then you're part of the match more than you want to be.
Yeah, how many times in those Chris Jericho matches, how many fucking times did she get in between Chris Jericho and another guy, or she got in Chris Jericho's face, or she grabbed Jericho, you know. I say Jericho because for some odd reason she's always a fucking referee whenever Jericho's wrestling.
Yeah, it's. I mean, she did it a couple times. Not only in the Jericho matches where she's like, the referee is supposed to tell you what not to do, but they rarely should physically interact with you. And like, if you have to look at all of her matches in AEW history, I'd say about like 30% of the time she's physically interacting with people for some reason. It should be less than 5%.
Well, and like you pointed out with like Earl Hebner, for instance, back in the day. He got involved in matches and stuff, but that was because he was written into the storyline.
But it's also
like most of the time he was written into that storyline. Like he would be hit, or they would be coming after him, like trying to intimidate him. You know, like for instance, that time when he finally stood up for himself. You know, and he started. I don't even remember who the hell it was, but he started just like beating back on him or whatever. Yeah, I mean, he was written into the storyline. So in a situation like that, that's what he's supposed to do.
The wrestler is the instigator because the light's still on the wrestler. The ref is the victim, but you don't want the victim to become the instigator because they're no longer a victim.
Right.
Exactly.
Just another victim. Sorry, Taz theme song. It's good stuff.
All I remember is the heartbeat. I gotta retire.
I don't listen. I opened up my window, and for some odd reason, it smells like the air that's coming through my window right now smells like fucking just solid wet dog.
Nice.
Like what the fuck?
Sounds like a window problem.
Minnesota.
It is horrible.
Are there paper towels nearby? That might be it.
Are there wet dogs outside?
I mean, but the company my mom works for is literally right across the cornfield from me.
Called
So
Wet Dog Incorporated.
Right across the cornfield from me. That's an interesting description of directions.
And the wind is coming from the south. So
there you go.
it might be the toilet paper.
Basement. Why don't you pick
toilet paper? My mom cleans that place spick and span. She's an excellent custodian.
Basement. Which one of these subjects you want to discuss?
I guess there's one major one, but before we get there, let me look here. I don't want to go there. We kind of already went there. I guess it's going to be a very brief topic, and it's going to be about Diablo, more so Blizzard. And Heather, you were interested in the new Diablo game, and they're saying if you get a tattoo with Diablo, I guess something about Diablo involved, you'll get access to the beta. What a fucking ass from a company that
no shit
fucking steals left, right, and center.
What it is they're doing a tour around the country right now. And if you show up at one of their stops and get one of their sticker tattoos, as it's called, which is one of their prefab tattoos that they've drawn up, and it's literally like that big at most, you get free access to the beta mode of the game, Diablo 4. And I looked at them. They're all shit. As a person who has a few of those sticker tattoos from fucking holiday specials, Friday 13th specials, yes, I will go to them, but if I don't see any that I like, I will not get anything done.
Oh, I thought it was legit tattoos. I didn't think it was...
No, it is a legitimate tattoo. When I say sticker tattoo, what I mean is it's something that they have pre-drawn so that they can just constantly push out back to back. No rush. Takes minimum of 45 minutes for the whole thing.
Though for a beta?
No, it's Blizzard. It's what Blizzard has become. We'll give you
for free full access.
We'll give you a taste of water for $9,000. Like fuck Blizzard, man. I'm telling you, like they came out with Diablo Immortal, which is a mobile game, which is just money stealing, fucking 101. And we had this conversation about this type of gaming anyway, but Blizzard, especially Diablo, really lends itself to it. If a game basically conditions you to pay money to get more, and not only get more, but get the stuff that you need to be the best, when it becomes pay to win, the game should not be allowed to be sold to kids.
Agreed.
And
I hate the pay to win shit.
That's essentially what they're doing, and they've done for forever. And it's to the point, like in Europe, it's illegal, and it should be illegal here too, because that's fucking bullshit.
Agreed.
Like I mean, I saw like some statistics that said basically if you want to be like the best at Diablo Immortal, it's gonna cost you $100,000 for a game.
Yeah, for a mobile game too. It's not even a PC game. It's only a mobile game.
And this is why I'll only say mobile gaming is ruining gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It introduced the worst tactics, and because it makes the most money for the least amount of cost, it's just like reality TV.
Yeah.
It costs nothing and makes tons.
Oh no, Tim! They'll give the Blizzard will sit there and give full access to the full fucking game to the big time YouTube streamers.
But you can tattoo a fucking picture of, I guess,
an axe
or a spider on your chest and be like, "You want to play the game for 3 days?"
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're spending probably at least a good $60 to $90 on that tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of links to, and I did want to mention it, The Last of Us 1 remaster. Why is that game full price?
No idea.
I have no idea.
Question, especially considering that for the longest time it was free.
Yeah, well, the remaster is what they're not calling it a remaster. They're calling it like what is it called? The fucking
remake or whatever.
No, it's not a remake because the story is the exact same. All you're doing is putting newer models that you actually take from a game you already have, Last of Us 2, and put it into The Last of Us 1. Sure.
Remaster.
Does it cost money? Yes. But you shouldn't charge for developing a game from the ground up because that's not what you're doing.
No.
So it's a remaster.
It is, but it's a remake.
At most, the game should be $20. At most.
I think if they wanted to like make money, they could probably price it at like 50 or 40, and then knowing that X number of people will only buy it, going down to 20, and then going to free on PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
But
they're gonna try and squeeze every little fucking.
Of course. Why the fuck are we remaking a game that's not even that old?
Money.
Is it money though? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to buy it.
It's money. Fucking free. I mean, you're living in a society full of a bunch of money hungry fucking assholes. That's all it is.
Greed is.
Oh, by the way,
everything.
Speaking of which, little tangent. Okay, did you guys know that Tesla, not the car, the guy?
Nope.
Did you?
Oh,
did you know that?
Yeah.
I can't remember his first name, but Tesla.
Yeah.
Nikolai, thank you.
Yeah,
did you know
died penniless in a fucking hotel?
Yeah, but did you know that he was actually in the process, like before we started paying for electricity? Before
make it free.
He wanted to make it free, and then
Watchmen.
I can't remember who. There was another person that was competing against him, and then they wanted to charge for it, and then obviously the people that were going to charge for it got the financial backing because it was a way for people to make money. But if they would have never gotten the funding, then Tesla would have went forward with his plan, and we would have had free electricity. Nobody in the United States would have been paying fucking electric bill.
That was never that would have never happened.
And to answer your question, Basement, The Last of Us Part 1 first came out in 2013.
Yeah, why are we remaking this? It makes no sense. But for electricity, I don't think like anything that's too good to be true will never happen. Even if he created the infrastructure for it to be free, somebody would just fucking kill him and take it. Like, hey, I'm charging now.
Which is exactly what happened with Tesla, because he was actually a fucking genius and he was on the cusp of having free electricity for the whole fucking nation, but because of money, he got overrode and basically got booted out and died with nothing. So
that's
I learned that on the show
I'm watching.
I learned this on the show I'm watching. If you like shit about abandoned places and stuff, you should check on Discovery Plus. There's a show called Pripyat. First of all,
what?
Russia needs to quit. First of all, Russia needs to quit their shit because I really want to go visit Pripyat. But
that's never gonna happen.
If you
looks terrible to me.
If you like shows about I like shows about abandoned places because I like to learn about the history, you know, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's abandoned and you're like, well, what the fuck was this used for? Or at least I am. I'm a fucking nerd. But there's a show on Discovery. There's a show on Discovery Plus called Mysteries of the Abandoned. That's really fucking interesting. And that's where I heard the Tesla fact. So if you're a fucking nerd like I am, go check it out. There you go.
Kill.
Also, did you guys hear about that Dave Chappelle shit up in the cities?
Yeah, that's in your fucking turf too.
It is. First Avenue, which is a huge fucking like a very, very well known establishment up in the Twin Cities. It's actually known for I think it was in Prince's movie Purple Rain. That club was actually featured quite a few times in that movie. But they were supposed to have Dave Chappelle on July 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And the show was sold out. And then 2 hours before the show, they canceled. The people that own the venue canceled it because there were some people outside that were protesting. Because of Dave Chappelle's whole controversy with the transvestites, right? Like, they're saying he hates transvestites when he has explained this several fucking times. Like, his friend that he actually started joking with is a transvestite, and his friend that was a transvestite thought it was fucking hilarious. But anyways, they issued a statement saying, to staff, artists, and our community, we hear you and we are sorry. We know we must hold ourselves to the highest standards, and we know we let you down. We are not just a black box with people in it, and we understand that First Avenue is not just a room, but meaningful behind our walls. That's what they said before they canceled the concert, right? It goes on, but I'm not even going to read it. So it actually...
It's almost like free speech is not free speech.
Here's the thing. They tried to do the whole woke thing, you know, where it's like, well, people aren't agreeing. Some people are getting upset that we're having Dave Chappelle here, so we're just going to cancel the show. But it actually ended up coming back and majorly biting them in the ass because... Yeah, it says online critics appeared to question the alleged backlash, highlighting that the phone-free experience was sold out. Tickets to the show were randomly released on July 18th, and minutes later, admission for 1,550 main room capacity facility was no longer available. If people purchased the tickets, they clearly were not outraged, wrote one social media user. Obviously, people want to see him if the show was sold out in 5 minutes. It says several other people took to the issue with the venue's response, highlighting how its decision clashed with the venue's claimed belief in diverse voices. There was a quote saying, "It doesn't sound like you believe in diverse voices at all," called out one reader. "Protect artistic expression, but then you refuse to protect artistic expression. Make that make sense," another person commented. So basically, they were trying to be woke, and it turned around and bit him in the ass. And now Dave Chappelle is probably never going to come back to that venue again.
Not that he needs to.
Yeah. I mean, in the end,
well,
like, this whole movement is just... It's
over 1,500 people.
It's under the guise of being, like, the good guy, but in the end, the thing that they're fighting for is the thing they're actually fucking taking away from people.
Yeah.
It's like, we want free speech for transgender. We want free everything. We want people to recognize. And it's like, but unless you disagree, and then you can't be around.
Well, but here's the thing. It
or
says
even
that,
if you agree, unless you agree the way we want you to, you can't be around.
In the article, it says, you know, it speaks about how, you know, Chappelle had been called out because of his transphobia comment or transphobic comments. But it says, amid criticism, the actor has stood by his comments, but he has said that he is open to having a discussion with members of the marginalized community about his perceived transphobia, because he has explained this before. He is not transphobic. The whole reason why he started making transvestite jokes to begin with was because of one particular transvestite when he was in California. He talks about this in one of his Netflix specials. It was one person that when he was first starting out, this person came to his show all the fucking time. And every single time that person was in the front row and they were laughing their ass off. So one day he called him out on it and they started a friendly banter back and forth. And he just happened to say something about the guy being a transvestite. And the guy thought it was fucking hilarious. And that's where it kicked off. It's not meant to be anything that fucking hurts people. But then you have establishments like this who really just bit themselves in the ass, because not only did they lose 1,500 people, over 1,500 people, but they have to issue refunds for that. They have a backlash
They should
online.
just eat the fucking
also,
cost of like everything that he was about to make. They should pay him and eat that cost. Refunds be dead.
Well, yeah,
I don't want a
and
refund.
Sure, there's some sort of contract in place for something
I'm
like
sure
that.
that there probably was. Like, I'm sure they probably still had to pay him out whatever he was supposed to be paid for being there.
Yeah.
But I mean, but not only that, so they're losing all of this money because they have to issue refunds for the tickets, and you know, you're losing out on because First Avenue it's a club, it's a bar, so you're losing out on food and drink revenues. You're losing out on all the revenues you would be making for that night being open, and then on top of it, you have to pay Dave Chappelle, and then on top of it, Dave Chappelle's probably never going to come back to your establishment ever. And this is probably going to cause a lot of other famous comedians or what have you not to question whether they want to go to the establishment.
The problem spreads further than this is what people like listening to anybody that has a radicalized belief and cries and whines all the time is the wrong fucking thing to do. It's been happening for the last 5 to 10 years, and it's only been detrimental to pretty much everything. So, like, I mean, in this respect, you know, you hit it right on the head when you said it's not only the establishment, it's all the other establishments in the area that would have benefited from people leaving there, going there, buying food, hanging out, having drinks, having a reputation of that area as being welcoming to people, and now Dave Chappelle, he's very well known. A lot of other fucking people will be like, I'm not going to that fucking shithole.
And where First Avenue is located in Minneapolis, it is literally right in downtown Minneapolis. It is right by the Target, or it's right by Target Field. It's by the Target Center. It's by just a couple blocks away from the Viking Stadium. It's right in the heart of the cities. And there are a lot of bars, restaurants, shops, everything like that. Like you said, that would have benefited big time.
The thing I can relate it to the most, once comedy gets patrolled to the place where it can't be funny anymore unless it's joking about the things you like, we might as well fucking live in Hitler's Germany.
I agree.
Not wrong.
You're getting to a place where nobody can say anything unless it's the thing you want them to say. So you're either with us and part of the hive mind, or you're somebody that can think, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that works out for me because I can't think, so that works out perfectly.
But I think there's one massive topic we have left, Connor.
What's that?
It's the brain eating amoeba.
What?
I said amoeba, but that's because I was reading it phonetically.
Amoeba? What?
Just eat my ass, okay? You know what it is, you son of a bitch.
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, so it's Marvel introducing everything that's going to come after Phase 4, including Phase 4. Connor doesn't like Marvel. He's told me many times that he acts like he loves it, but secretly down inside, he cuts himself.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord. Not wrong. No. No, so I don't want to get too much into detail about this because there's a lot, and I do mean a lot, to digest with it. So, San Diego ComicCon going on right now this whole entire weekend, and the thing with San Diego Comic-Con is that Marvel has not been part of San Diego Comic-Con for a couple of years, whether it be due to COVID or whatever, them being more in line with Disney.
Diego?
What?
Is it always San Diego?
No.
San Diego Comic-Con's the big one that usually gets the most attention. So that's why usually you see a lot of like DC stuff happen there. Like it's obviously like the big focused one because it's like Hollywood and that's where like usually the big announcements and shit happen.
Yep.
So but
let's put it this way, Basement. San Diego Comic-Con is so popular that you literally, if you wanted tickets to it, you literally have to be sitting at the computer, and as soon as the tickets go, you need to like try to beat out the fucking bots and basically just refresh your page every 5 seconds because they sell out within like a half an hour.
Damn, I know it's like that.
Yeah, it's that. It's insane.
Yep. So a lot of people like, oh, Marvel
episode. Sorry, Connor.
That's okay. So a lot of people were saying, oh, Marvel's going to be there just like everybody else is going to be there. And it's not, not that it's not that big, not that they were trying to dismiss it, but the problem is that Marvel Studios hasn't really made any major announcements at Comic-Con in quite a while. The last time they did was when they announced their Phase 4 lineup. And so people are like, well, D23, which is like basically Disney's like big investors presentation where like this is the big shit that's coming. That happens in September, and so a lot of people are like, oh, Marvel's not going to really announce a whole lot because they're going to save everything for September for D23, and holy fucking shit, were we wrong.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, the shit that poured out just today alone.
So I, been having some fun with the talkie ticks of TikTok, and I heard that they basically announced their Phase 5 lineup of movies and TV shows, which some of them we kind of already knew from previous announcements. Some were very interesting to hear. And then they kept dropping more fucking bombshells, including the next 2 major Avengers movies and the release date for their first Fantastic Four movie in the MCU. Not only that, but they also finally dropped a Black Panther Wakanda Forever teaser. So they just unloaded everything.
Do you think that they went a step above and beyond because of some of the Phase 4 is underperforming? We're not really a fan of Phase 4.
110%. Yeah. Because I was saying this right before we got on here. I was actually in the middle of doing a video essay in the last week talking about Phase 4. I was going to talk about, defending Phase 4 as far as why I think it was doing pretty well or, creatively speaking, and that there were things to enjoy about it and my theories about where the fuck it was going to go. And after today, I literally threw it into a ball in the corner and I cried for about an hour because it went completely not the direction I was hoping it for. Not that I'm,
so
from all that fun hard work.
I think now, looking at it, especially with the announcement that happened, Phase 4 is what I should compare to Phase 1.
Which is what it should be. That's the way it should be compared.
I still think Phase 1
is
better than Phase 4.
Let's talk about Basement's favorite, which I woke up this morning to a bunch of...
They didn't even mention it in this fucking thing.
I don't know. I woke up this morning to a bunch of messages in the Twitter... with Basement just basically complaining about fucking Baby Groot. And not gonna lie, I was still like half asleep. So the first thing that you wrote about it, I had to read it like 16 times. I'm not even joking because it did not make any fucking sense in my brain. Because for some odd reason, the words just were not combobulating.
What?
Then you heard me.
It's a cultural thing.
But then, yes, but then
okay.
It clicked, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that actually does make sense." But yeah, you really love Baby Groot, huh?
I mean,
yeah,
the thing is, for me, Baby Groot or Groot in general, is palatable. I'm not in love with the character because the character is basically the Ewoks.
And Groot.
Or baby fucking Yoda. He's there to sell toys, right?
Yeah, and that is exactly why he's going to be popular, and they're going to put so much emphasis on him because he's going to sell.
I guess what frustrated me when I saw the trailer was the fact that like everybody commenting on it wasn't a fucking 5-year-old.
No, of course
I mean,
not.
they're
You
all
are
way
gonna
older
have
than anything. And like, I'm so excited for Groot. Fucking, I am Groot. Like, you look like
Are
you're
also
47.
the people.
Don't mind me. I'm
also
deleting my comment.
These
Should.
are also the people that are 40-year-old virgins, you know, like on the
No,
movie.
they're not.
Their whole fucking rooms are like lined with
They're
fucking
not, though. They're not.
unboxed.
Half
figures.
of them are fucking India.
So
I mean,
India
they can
loves
still-
Groot.
Listen, they can still be
Yeah,
40-year-old virgins with you know
I mean,
action figures.
some of them have like an image of themselves,
Very.
and I kid you not. I look through them and like I look at some of the images and it's like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, teenagers.
And-
It's
I mean,
like
they're not virgins.
no, because like the idea that to be a fan you have to be a weirdo is gone because they make the most money of everything. So
It is.
come
I
on,
didn't get that memo.
you're just a weirdo outside of being a fan.
We're all weirdos.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's true.
to round out Phase 4, Kevin Feige did take to center stage or in Hall H, which is where all the big announcements are usually done. He announced that basically the last two big projects of Phase. What's that?
We may end up losing power here because we got a big storm and the lights have already flickered a little bit.
And I also want to say that
you know why.
I also want to say the Groot movie is an obvious cash grab like Minions, and if people hate that,
Yeah,
they should hate that.
it's a bunch of shorts that
Yeah.
don't really, they're not going to be anything major or anything crazy. So I'm not even.
It's going to
like,
introduce the new villain in Marvel.
I fucking hate you. Phase 4 will round up with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and She-Hulk: Attorney at Law as far as the Disney Plus shows. Phase 5 will officially have the following: Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania,
Hold
Secret
up.
Invasion.
Hold up, before you go on.
Yes.
She-Wolf?
She-Wolf.
No.
Yes.
She-Hulk.
She-Wolf:
What?
Attorney at Law.
I'm going to burn my hat.
No.
She-Hulk and I heard She-Wolf. I'm sorry.
Wakanda Forever. I saw the trailer
Yes.
and it actually
Yes.
looks pretty fucking good.
It looks amazing. Let me stress this.
Visually, it looks
Visually,
great.
it looks fantastic. The other part I like about it is that it was rumored about this because they are introducing Namor, which is basically Marvel's version of Aquaman. He's the king of Atlantis, and what this looks like from the trailer is that it looks like it's going to be an all-out fucking war between Wakanda and Atlantis. Which sign me the fuck up if that's going to be the
I know,
case.
what's his name?
One thing I absolutely Namor.
Namor.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I loved about the trailer
Marvel
is
and stupid names, okay.
the fact that it looks like they're going to spend, and I hope they do, a significant amount of time kind of like dealing with Black Panther not being alive.
That is going to be a major focal point of the story, from what I was told,
See,
for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And
And that's something that they need to do because they need to explain. Obviously,
Why Black Panther is not Black Panther anymore.
but
they-
it also
the
acts
other-
like it's expanding on Wakanda as like a place,
nation.
which is the most
Yes.
interesting thing about the fucking first movie.
well, I mean, I never watched the first. I never watched Black
What?
Panther. I probably should. I never did. I'm sorry.
You never freeze?
I'm sorry. I never did. But like, just the images of Wakanda from Infinity War.
Mhm.
Looks like they made it look beautiful, so I'm excited to see.
Wakanda was done
No.
kind of stupidly in the movie for me, but
It
it
was,
was
Visually.
interesting. The best parts were interesting. Thing is, it's like imagine the most advanced civilization also paired with the most basic civilization.
Remember when like the Black Panther movie came out and like all these people were online saying that they were moving to Wakanda and everybody was like, "You realize
fuck, I'd
this
move to
isn't
Wakanda.
a
Fuck
real
that."
place,
I mean,
right?"
I would too.
If this was a real place, everybody would be moving there.
But the trailer is actually very good, and I
Yes,
hope the movie lives up to it. The last one for me was overhyped. I don't think that's going to happen with this one.
The
And
part that I actually, sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish. I was done.
The only thing
Sorry.
the only thing I was going to say was, as much as I love seeing the Atlanteans, the battle, the fighting, the craziness, the chaos, the music, everything, the one thing I loved more than anything else is we didn't see who the new Black Panther is.
They're keeping that tight to the vest, and they need to.
Sadly, I had the same thought
I thought
as
it was
Tim.
going to be the chick.
No, I don't think so. Sadly, I had the same thought as Tim, where it's like they show his claw and then look up and he reveals his face and it's fucking Powder from the movie Powder. The whitest man alive.
The white agent from S.H.I.E.L.D., whoever the guy is, yeah.
No, I think it's gonna be Killmonger, right? He's supposed
No,
to be
Killmonger's dead.
No, he's supposed to be in the movie.
He's dead from the first one.
Listen, nobody's ever really
seriously.
dead.
Listen, spoilers.
I mean, I think
You had plenty of options to watch it, woman.
Michael B.
I do need to watch
Michael B.
it,
Jordan is
but
a great actor, and I hope he's. I mean, fuck it. At this point in time, Marvel can just revive him.
I mean, yeah, they can do anything at this point. So,
I heard that was who Michael B. Jordan. I thought that was he was going to be in this new movie because I read some article where it said that he was making
They've
a
rumored
comeback.
like 8 different people. So
Yeah.
they have. They
it's
have.
gonna be
So
Tony
it could
Stark.
Yep, it is. He's going to take up the mantle.
I mean, listen, we thought Bucky was dead and he came back.
It's gonna be Tony Stark from Tropic Thunder.
Oh God, no!
Can you imagine? Oh my God! Can you fucking imagine? Oh no! That
Do you
would be
imagine if they
beautifully
fucking
horrible.
they brought that character into today's fucking society? Jesus Christ!
Beautifully horrible. So, what Kevin Feige more importantly did was, I mean, I'm gonna rapid fire this because I don't want to take up too much time because we could go on this for so long. He did announce that with the first 3 movies first 3 phases of Marvel being known as the Infinity Saga, which makes sense because of the Infinity, Stones and Infinity War, that the next 3 phases 4, 5, and 6 will be known as the Multiverse Saga, which makes sense. Obviously, now we look at it in hindsight and everything. Phase 5 will the what?
The 3 World Saga.
Yeah, no kidding. The 3 freaking
just told me.
Shit.
Yeah. So, with Phase 5 comes Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is said to be an extremely emotional movie. In fact, there was apparently a scene featuring a baby rocket raccoon, so we might actually get an origin story as far as
That's long time coming.
Yep,
I'm super excited for that. He's one of my favorite fucking characters.
And we know nothing about him, but they've alluded to his past. Then I think
the rumor is that
we'll
get that.
Is there casted who they casted as him?
Do they have a plan on who they're gonna get to voice him? Because it's Bruce Willis right now, isn't it?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Raccoon.
It's Bradley Cooper. Why was there? I remember fighting JP over this.
Time out.
Bradley Cooper's always been.
Who the fuck am I thinking that Bruce Willis was fucking voicing?
No idea.
Bruce Willis. I don't know either. In his life.
Anywho,
and I'm not gonna lie. Listening to that fucking raccoon, I thought it was Bruce Willis this entire fucking time.
It doesn't sound anything like Bradley Cooper. But I do.
It doesn't. He sounds like Bruce Willis. That's why I thought it was Bruce Willis.
He's done a fantastic job.
He has.
Yes, he has. So we have Guardians 3, which James Gunn did come out with the entire cast and got very emotional, saying that this is going to be the epic trilogy to this version of the Guardians. So it means that there's a chance we could see other iterations of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the future, but we will see. Nothing ever dies, especially in the multiverse. Echo, which is going to be a continuation off of a Hawkeye character, which will also feature Daredevil and the Kingpin. We will also.
Right?
Isn't the Kingpin dead?
Secret Invasion is Disney Plus?
It is. Secret Invasion will be a Disney Plus show. I actually heard it's going to be a very big political one. Like it's going to be a political espionage kind of show, which is going to be very interesting.
Everybody was fake arrested. The end.
I thought that Kingpin died in Hawkeye.
Well, spoilers.
Did he?
Gina?
Yeah.
Even worse spoilers than the last fucking thing you said.
First of all, it's not my fault that you haven't watched Hawkeye yet, because I told you.
Not our fault you haven't watched Black Panther.
Well, it's nobody's fault except for the fact that I'm overloaded.
You should watch Hawkeye. I actually really enjoyed Hawkeye.
What movies?
But
We'll watch Hawkeye when we get to Hawkeye.
What
Like
movies
Hawkeye.
haven't you seen so I can spoil them for you all right now?
Black Panther.
Okay. Well, we already spoiled that. All right.
Moving on, Connor.
Yes, moving on. We'll have that's gonna be a Disney Plus show. We have. Let me just pull up the rest of the list here.
I have it
Loki,
on the screen.
season- okay, Loki season 2, which is of course obviously a continuation of the Loki show. The Marvels, which will feature Captain Marvel, Maria Rambeau, and Miss Marvel all coming together. Blade.
I'm already 1000% not interested in that one.
That
Actually,
movie
Miss
is,
Marvel was actually better than
I think that movie's
I'm not
not
gonna lie.
going to do well. So
I'm not even
I'm
gonna lie.
say-
As soon as you said Captain Marvel, I checked out.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that
a
movie is-
miscast.
That's one Basement hasn't seen.
I've seen
Blade.
some of it. 40
Blade
minutes.
is coming
I'm gonna
to-
kill myself.
Blade is coming
is
to the MCU. The Vampire Hunter Blade will be coming in November. Ironheart, which is Riri Williams, who is, I guess, she was teased in the Wakanda Forever trailer. I'm not sure if you caught that.
Her
Basement.
name is
girl.
Riri.
Yep, I'm not kidding you, Riri Williams.
All right.
Well,
Well, I'm down to watch that. I'm down to watch.
has the
I'm excited for Blade, man. What do you guys know?
I am.
Blade could be very,
I'm
very
both
interesting.
excited and terrified that this is going to go terribly wrong.
I mean,
Well,
the thing is, the original Blade wasn't like it was good, but it wasn't like the best movie ever.
Yeah,
well, here's the thing with Blade. For me, it's gonna depend largely on two different things.
It's
Okay, one of
rating?
them, it's gonna have to be rated an adult rating because you cannot take Blade and put it as a children's fucking show. He's a vampire, for Christ's sakes. And two, it's going to be all about casting with Blade.
Well, they have Mahershala Ali as Blade.
yes, they already
Fucking
confirmed.
Mahershala Ali.
Man, he was in. I listed it earlier. He was in Luke Cage. You see Luke Cage?
Mhm.
Mahershala.
Okay, fuck. I hate you.
Anyway, Ironheart will be following Riri Williams. She basically has, she might be Wakandan from what we saw from the Black Panther trailer. She's a.
Sorry,
She has-
I saw a picture of this dude and he looks kind of like Wesley Snipes.
That's probably why they
And
casted them.
He's a much better actor. I think he's an Academy Award winner.
She will be the next one to create the next Iron Man suit. Agatha, Coven of Chaos, which is going to be a spinoff of the Agatha character from
Christine novels.
yes. That one I'll be honest with you. Not hugely interested in that one.
Honest with you, I'm actually kind of excited to see this one to see where Catherine goes with the character.
Yeah, she's the witch off of.
But it's such an offshoot.
what the
Don't worry,
hell's it called?
I'm already
What's
spoiled.
this
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I was okay, yeah. So she is Agatha Harkness from WandaVision, which
Yes, I like
could
her.
go either way.
I haven't
no,
seen
no.
how it plays out yet in the show, but like, it's weird to have a show offshoot have a movie.
It's either going to be it's not. No, it's a show.
Series. Yeah.
Oh, it's Disney Plus. Never mind.
Yes, Agatha's going to be Disney Plus. But the big three for the ending of Phase 5 are the ones that I'm the most excited about. The first, Daredevil Born Again, which is going to be an 18-episode Disney Plus series featuring Charlie Cox.
With a TVMA rating.
Please, yes, thank the Lord, because
Yes.
if that was, and I like Blade needs to be rated.
TVMA.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Daredevil Born Again will be an TVMA Disney Plus show, 18 episodes featuring Charlie Cox
That's
returning
a
his role
lot
as
of
Daredevil.
fucking episodes.
I fucking know. And Vincent D'Onofrio is coming back as Kingpin in this series. So
Yes.
the question is still up in the air on whether or not it's going to be a continuation from the Disney or from the Daredevil Netflix show, or if it's something completely new. No one. I think they said it is going to be continuation, but time will tell. That's coming out
it's gonna
spring.
be like a loose continuation where they might
Okay,
refer
they're
to
bringing
things,
back everybody
but they
from the
won't
Netflix
show
era.
anything.
I'm really
mean-
glad that they stuck with the actor from the other series from
Yes.
Netflix.
Oh, no, Gina, they're bringing everybody from Netflix over to
They
Disney.
did.
I also
They're
have
gonna
a
try as
very
best as possible.
strong feeling
I'm scared about
that
Punisher. I'm scared about
if
Punisher.
Daredevil is 18 plus, I have a very strong feeling Punisher.
Punisher is going to be
Punisher.
is going to be 18 plus too.
Well, no,
Fingers
he'll
crossed.
show up in Daredevil and
Yeah.
be part of Phase
Yeah.
6, which
The-
I'm
the
so
last-
glad for because those two, the Netflix's
But it
Daredevil and Punisher were incredible.
They need to bring back the same guy from Punisher too.
Oh yeah, you can't recast that. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean that Disney money. The last two, Captain America: New World Order. So apparently, Captain America's joining WCW, but no, that could go a bunch of different ways. Sam Wilson coming back as Captain America. I'm somewhat intrigued. I gotta hear more about the details. No details, but Phase 5 will end officially with the Thunderbolts, which is essentially MCU's version. I'm loosely giving a very broad exaggeration. Thunderbolts is basically MCU's version of Suicide Squad. So it's when they bring different villains in together. It's like the government's versions of the Avengers. So that could be, they've already teased and alluded to it in some of the earlier stuff. Could be a lot of fun depending on how things go. And there's a lot of characters already set up and established for it. But of course, that's not the only big pieces of news we got. Not just all that.
Hold on.
You go to Crazy Blade said Punisher is now on Disney Plus. You mean the Netflix Punisher? Because I doubt that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Then it's happening. It's 100% happening for sure.
And the Daredevil show, I believe.
So if they bought the rights to those two movies, or have the rights, I guess they always had the rights. They were just renting them out.
Oh no. Sorry. Let me back up. So Disney Plus now hosts all the Netflix shows, all the Netflix Marvel shows, Punisher, Daredevil,
so it's going to be
Jessica
a continuation.
Jones.
It'll be a continuation.
Defenders, all of that is on Disney Plus. As of a couple days ago, they just added Logan, Deadpool, and Deadpool 2.
And the guy that plays Blade, which I guess kind of problematic, is the best part of Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I had a valid question. I can't
About that
remember.
casting choice.
He's great though. When do you think, before you go into the next phase, because they're going to have to introduce the main villain for the Avengers to fight at some point. Who is that? I haven't seen the.
Wait! Time out. What
I didn't see the new Thor's in that.
Nope.
Did I see it?
No. You'll get there, basement.
Oh. So when we get there.
Quick question.
Yes.
Stage 5. Is that next year?
It's Phase 5. Stage 5.
Phase 5 starts. Hold on, let me pull up the actual list here. So Phase 5 is technically
excited for Daredevil.
Phase 5 is technically starting with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in February of 2023.
2023. Okay, so next year.
It's all next
Phase
year. And
5
2024 is Phase 6, which is basically Phase 3 of what we like. I mean, it's going to mimic.
And
correct.
Nope. It is 1:18 in the morning, and you are not going to confuse me.
Listen, 7 plus 1 is 5.
What?
Shut up.
So I'm pumped. There's a bunch of reasons why I'm excited about this. There's at least a few of them in here of Phase 5 stuff that makes me very, very excited. But now that Feige kind of like actually laid out like this is where we're going with this, it makes a lot more sense with most of the Phase 4 stuff. Like, obviously the biggest complaint was that Phase 4 was all over the fucking place, which I get it. But now I
don't like the meandering of Phase 4.
Connor, you said that they already introduced the new villain.
Don't talk about it, because I haven't seen it.
No, I'm not.
Gene, I'll DM you. Hold on.
No. Time out a second. That's not even it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I wasn't going to say that.
It's Spider-Man.
What I was going to say was, also Connor DM me anyway, because I'm interested now. But Tim said that they were going to introduce it in Wakanda Forever or Ant-Man.
Wakanda Forever Ant-Man is not a movie.
Oh, Wakanda Forever or Ant-Man, dumbass. Hate you. There was an or in there.
There was not.
Oh god, that's fucking funny.
Why can you never I'm pronunciating my words. Why can't you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Nobody understands the words that come out of your mouth. Quoting Chris Rock.
So,
which is not actually Chris Rock.
The rumor was that they were going to be introduced in either Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania or Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, because we hadn't really seen or knew of a big villain yet. Technically speaking, technically speaking, we've been introduced to the villain of the multiverse saga, now that it's called that, in Phase 4. We will get to know him a little bit more in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Assuming.
Well, Connor, because you have to DM me. Now I'm intrigued.
Is it Michael Douglas?
Who?
No.
Although he'd make a fucking great villain. Exactly. He would make a great villain.
It's Javier Bardem as a cloud of smoke.
It's Odin. Odin's the worst fucking father, and therefore he is.
No, he's
fine.
Like...
I will DM you, Gina. So of course that I was happy enough and satisfied with just that news. Then we get even more, unless there's something else you wanted to say, Basement.
Out of all of these things for this phase, what are you most excited about?
I mean, obviously the Captain America stand in me is excited for New World Order, but it's hard for me to get excited about it because I don't know too much about it. If I had to really say what I was looking forward to the most, it would probably be a 3-way tie between Loki season. Wow, shit. There's a bunch.
I mean, you can say my most excited, my next.
Guardians 3, Loki 2, Daredevil, and Thunderbolts. Those are my big 4 that I'm off the top of my head. Blade, I'm not against it. I need to know a little bit more before I get too excited. And the other ones are kind of spin-offs of other things. So again, I need to kind of I think Secret Invasion will be fun, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Same with Echo. I think they're going to funnel into the other ones.
What is Secret Invasion?
Secret Invasion is a storyline which the Skrulls, a certain group of Skrulls, secretly invade Earth and cause all sorts of chaos and calamity.
Body snatchers that aren't body snatchers.
Not gonna lie. Listen, number one,
they're goblins that come to Earth.
Okay. Number 1 for me is Daredevil, and then I'm gonna say number 2 is Guardians, and number 3 is the Captain America movie. Oh no! Fucking scratch that. Number 3 would be the chick from WandaVision. Whatever the fuck her name, Catherine's character, the witch, and then number 4 is Captain America.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Heather?
Listen, I just can't get behind Captain America being Falcon, and Captain America. I can't do it.
All right, Gina, I just DM'd you, so hopefully that'll make things a little bit more clear.
I will not.
For me, it's Blade, Guardians 3, Daredevil, and Agatha.
You have Blade above Guardians?
I do, because of the fact that I am vampire whore, but
Agatha's
you and me
only
both,
weird
I
to me.
guess.
I mean, I'm not against Agatha, but it just that, if it's a prequel, yeah, okay. Sign me.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be the prequel of leading up to when her mother and her sisters tried to burn her.
Okay,
I got
gotcha.
Okay, wait. Don't. Can't say too much.
I got Guardians, then Daredevil, then Blade. Personally.
Okay, Connor, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, good. So, but that's not the only news. That's not the only piece of news because I thought I was happy with that. I was like, oh shit, they're just gonna do that. But nope, they decided to reveal 3 other big things. They decided to reveal basically where things are going in the multiverse saga going into Phase 6. Now there is still a bunch of dates and other projects they haven't officially announced for Phase 6. But there were 3 that they ironed in and locked in completely. The first being Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four will be taking place in November of 2024. And then apparently
how late it was, to be honest. I thought it was going to be part of this Phase 5.
Is Chris Evans going to be coming back as
they have not released a single piece of casting yet for Phase 4 or for Fantastic Four.
Invisible Woman.
That would be hilarious.
Whatever. I need America's ass back on the screen. That's all I care about.
But the 2,
the Gray Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh? Sorry?
The Gray Man on Netflix. Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans having butt sex. Come on.
Yep.
Ew. What? No,
they're not having
what?
sex.
Favorites.
I've seen the previews for that one. I've seen the previews for that one.
They added the R for no reason.
It looked like a pretty decent movie.
But we're not only getting.
I mean, I want to watch it. Sorry, Connor.
It's okay. In Phase 6, we're not only getting 2 Avengers movies, but we're getting 2 Avengers movies in the same fucking year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
That ends it all.
So we're getting Avengers: The Kang Dynasty in May of 2025, and then Avengers, the one that's gonna be the doozy. Yeah, that's gonna be fucking insane. Is Avengers: Secret Wars?
Secret Wars? That's like what Vince McMahon got in trouble for.
Secret Horrors? What?
Yep, Secret Wars. Selective listening on the show today. Secret Wars. Well, Kang Dynasty is interesting because it does tie into a lot of the multiversal stuff with Kang the Conqueror. Secret Wars.
Yeah, and what you just said makes so much sense now that you said that. Okay. Continue.
Secret Wars is think of the big fight with Endgame. Except instead of Thanos and his army, it's a mix of superheroes and supervillains from all different timelines.
Which is what it should have been. Oh god, I hurt my legs.
I was really, really hoping that you were going to say instead of Thanos, it was going to be like some brothel or something, Secret Horrors. Listen, there's going to be a Pornhub made about this. I'm telling you.
There's a Pornhub made about everything.
There already isn't.
Secret War, remember how we were saying?
Specifically, there is gonna be a porn called Secret Horse.
I'm sure there is.
I'm writing it.
Remember how we were all saying that, like, with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, that, yes, there are plot holes and stuff, and there's things that you could pick apart, and it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but kudos to the Russo brothers for being able to balance so many characters in 1 or 2 movies. I feel like that's going to be.
Except Feige has already said the Russo brothers are not going to be in charge of these movies,
which is fine. But I'm just saying, as far as the challenge of what that's going to entail, because you
as long as they exist in the universe beforehand, it might not be too. I mean, it's gonna be tough as shit, but it might not be.
All I know right now is it's love listening to Connor talk about this stuff because I haven't heard him get this excited since he used to do his wrestling stuff, and you're really into this, man, and it shows in your voice. I like it.
Thank you. The reason this is very interesting is because now that Marvel Studios has almost all of their properties, Spider-Man is obviously still kind of loosey-goosey. They pretty much have almost their entire property library under their umbrella now, with like Daredevil, Punisher, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, all that stuff. You could literally have as many fucking cameos as humanly possible. You can. This is your excuse.
They will.
Oh, they fucking. I am telling you this right now. I think Kang Dynasty will do probably maybe as good as Infinity War, but I think Secret Wars will either match or oversee or supersede Endgame, depending on how they play it.
Oh yeah. Well, they're all gonna make fucking money. You know what's gonna make a ton of money? Wakanda Forever. That's gonna be rich as fuck.
I bet you that's the most top-grossing Phase 4 movie. No.
I think it.
No. I think Spider-Man's still going to beat it. I think it's going to be right underneath it, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, Spider-Man got a lot of people out in the theaters. But no, Secret Wars, I'm excited yet terrified because obviously it can go the way of Ultron. But I would like to think that with them, if that's what they're gearing towards, and if that, like, the Secret Wars is where everything is going to lead towards, Jesus fucking Christ, it's going to be insane.
How can you have a secret war?
What's that?
How can you have a secret war?
So in the comics, the secret
war with your secret horror. There you go.
Yep, it's a common problem. It's a secret war with that.
It's a secret war that involves everybody in the universe. Is it
secret
really
war with a secret?
I don't know.
It's a secret war. It's a secret war with a secret whore with all your dirty papers on the floor. So, Secret Wars is when
and circle. Sorry.
Circle jerk. in the comics, there is a cosmic being called the Beyonder who sees that there are all these mega powered and super powered beings and entities that either reside on Earth or have been on Earth and seen all this craziness that goes on, not just on one Earth, but on multiple Earths throughout the multiverse, and realizes that it's like a hot spot for high powered beings. And so he wants to put their powers and their abilities and test them to the limits. And so he recruits a various amount of different heroes and villains from Earths across the multiverse of different Marvel heroes and villains, and put them all into one giant planet to fight it out. And that's pretty much what it's going to be in this one. So that's why I'm like, that's going to be fucking insane.
How is it secret?
Because it's off of Earth. It's
off
like
world.
nobody else knows about it except for the heroes and villains that are in there.
Nobody else is on Earth is gonna know unless you're in with
Nobody
the
knew
Avengers.
anything else but anything that happened off world ever.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in New York knew when New York was being destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty sure. And not only that, considering that the Avengers, like at one point in time, literally were propelled up to like national media. I'm pretty sure everybody knew.
With the tech that they got from all the fucking things they've gone through, they should be multi-planet now.
Well, they explain how everybody figures out everything. They explain how everybody knows everything from Endgame a couple of shows and movies into Phase 4. But anyway, point is that like
It's a secret.
This is a bold ambition. I thought that Endgame was one thing and Infinity War was one thing, but Secret Wars, man, that's who.
My biggest worry with the whole. Sorry, go ahead, Gina.
I was just gonna ask, like, why did MCU decide to go to the whole like jumping universes thing instead of like going to like jumping planets first? You know, like DC did. They went to planets.
For them, time travel was easier to fix their mistakes.
Oh, I suppose.
If I had to
anything, if you can just say some other version of Iron Man existed somewhere else.
If I was a betting man, the reason they're probably going for this is because let's face it, Thanos is a very hard act to follow. Even if you look at the other bigger villains and everything that can happen in Marvel, Thanos and the Infinity War and the Infinity Stones is a pretty hard act to follow. Combine that with the fact that, again, Marvel now has almost all the toys in their collection again. So if you want to introduce these other properties, you now have the biggest, laziest writing excuse to be able to bring them in here at virtually any point in time they want. In fact, somebody interviewed Kevin Feige and said, "Oh, we're going to finally get the X-Men in Phase 10." And he laughed and said, "I would like to have it happen a whole lot sooner than that."
And I was just actually gonna ask about that because, you know, after seeing Doctor Strange, I honestly thought that like the next phase they were gonna be introducing an X-Men movie because like, no spoilers, like not trying to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen the new Doctor Strange movie, but the X-Men are in that fucking movie.
Well, I'm very happy that they aren't. I mean,
well, here's my question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, they have enough properties to not rush out another one that's been oversaturated, to be honest. Give it some time so that when it happens, the pop is real instead of the pop being like, hey, great, but it's not as good as the last X-Men. Well, it's definitely going to be better than the last
Here's
X-Men.
My question. Now that they have Deadpool on the platform, what movie do you think that what movie or TV show do you think Deadpool's going to pop up in?
And
Deadpool will have a third movie.
Yeah, and it's going to be rated R, and he'll be in Secret Wars or anything that's cameo heavy.
Do you guys think that like within the next like year or so, are they going to have him do a cameo in like Phase 5?
If I was going to have him cameo in anything recently, I'd have him cameo in She-Hulk. That would be the perfect environment for him to pop in.
Yeah, listen, that name is so fucking dumb, She-Hulk.
Yeah, because she's She-Hulk. He's not Man-Hulk.
Right.
Yes, I understand, but they couldn't give her an actual name, just She-Hulk.
She has a name.
She's a parody character, actually. But anyway,
paralegal.
That's a whole other. But no, She-Hulk would be the perfect cameo place for him to show up in. Just to walk in and then leave. Like that would literally be the
I feel like it should be a running joke for him showing up in all Marvel properties in some weird fucking way.
I was gonna say even
you know
Loki,
that
Loki season 2 would be another good one.
Oh, he would be good in
fucking
the dynamics that they would be good.
the cameo that Stan always had. Make that Deadpool.
Deadpool.
I feel like because there's been it's been so long since the last Deadpool movie, I just feel like they need to like kind of, not that anybody forgot who Deadpool is or anything, because he was a very popular character, but I feel like they kind of need to reintroduce him into the MCU.
That's why they added the first 2 movies to the platform along with Logan.
Well, no, I know that, but like
I believe Logan is getting a cameo in Deadpool 3.
Okay, because like what I was trying to say is not like introduce him, because obviously everybody knows what
reintroduce him.
Couldn't he be there for a secret invasion?
But because like right now you think of Deadpool and he's like, for me anyway, he's automatically tied to Wolverine because he always has such a fucking thing with Wolverine. Mm-hmm. But you need to like make him tied to the other characters that are in MCU as well.
Now here's the thing. Just because
there's a movie in Phase 5 that you could. Go ahead.
Just because they released this timeline doesn't mean they might not just fucking throw something in at a certain point. Right?
There is one movie in Phase 5 that he could very easily slide into.
And
that it would be
obvious.
Perfect for him.
It's obvious the one. For me, it's obvious the one.
Which one is it?
Blade.
Nope.
If it's rated R.
No. Mm-mm.
I can see him in
Loki.
Didn't they also announce the mutants?
Yes, there is a couple of projects that Marvel has announced that they haven't given a date to, which makes a lot of people think that they're going to slide that over to Phase 6 because there's still like 7 dates or 7 time frames and slots in Phase 6 that haven't been filled. So there's rumors that it's either going to be filled in by those ones, like the Armor Wars. There's a couple of other ones that were supposed to be in there too. And then Deadpool 3 might be in Phase 6 as well. What I was going to say, Basement, was Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts
I don't have it on the graphic that I'm looking at.
That's okay. Thunderbolts is the last
That's what I was
one.
thinking of when I said Secret Invasion. Because you mentioned it was like a bunch of hero
political.
Yeah. No. Yeah. When you mentioned grouping Thunderbolts, a grouping
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
Yeah, Thunderbolts would be the perfect place for him to. I mean, you could honestly have him cameo in. You could have him cameo in Blade if you want to push the R-rated stuff. Daredevil would be another perfect spot for him to be put into.
Daredevil,
I
wouldn't put him in Daredevil personally because it takes the real world aspect of it away.
I honestly think that he would be great to cameo in Loki because I would just love to see the actor that plays Loki and fucking Ryan Reynolds because
you could do that too.
Yeah, that'd be fucking great.
I actually agree with you. Thunderbolts is probably the best, and that might be. I mean, he could be in Blade, but I think like anything he appears in is kind of like he changes the film's aesthetic. He changes the film's like message and it changes the way the film should be perceived because he's comedic.
I feel like the Thunderbolts thing would be him, and the Thunderbolts would be the equivalent of Spider-Man showing up in Civil War. Remember when like people lost their shit when they saw him in the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also feel like you're gonna see him in multiple end credits.
Yes.
Speaking of which, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I learned a little interesting tidbit today. After Infinity War, I thought I had watched all the end credits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I must have gotten up and left the theater before this happened, because apparently, what's his name? Nick
Fury?
Fury, thank you. I was going to say Nick Cage, and I'm like, that's not right. Nick Fury called Captain Marvel, which is how she ended up coming in Endgame. Because I was so confused as like, well, how the fuck did she know to come? And then I was reading something today, and it just happened to fucking say that, and I was like, all right, well, that explains so much because I missed that fucking end credit.
And then there's an end credits in Captain Marvel that, yeah.
Well, I don't think I finished all of Captain Marvel because I think I did. I did
maybe twice.
Apparently,
I finished it, but I don't remember because I wasn't fucking paying attention.
I tried twice.
So apparently, I just looked it up real quick. There are 8 more Phase 6 announcements, meaning there's 8 more slots for Phase 6.
Well, what's the average amount of movies they have in a phase? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So Phase 5 has what? Has 1, 2,
Well, some of it is
3,
Disney Plus, right?
4, 5, 6.
6
Phase 5 has
movies
6.
and what,
That's including
4 Disney
that's
Plus things. 1, 2.
That's including the series,
One,
Connor, or just
4.
movies?
No, 5
Just
Disney
movies.
Plus, 5 Disney Plus, and 6 movies.
Movies. Yep.
So 11 to 12, yeah, that's I guess acceptable.
Yep.
My problem is too, like, when going with I feel like personally Marvel has hit its zenith. Anything else, I guess, is like add-ons.
Secret Wars could be very interesting if they do it right.
But then my question is,
I'm
if
always
they
going to
blow their
question,
load
what
on
are they
Secret Wars?
fighting
then-
for?
Well, if they
The
blow their load on
universe!
Secret Wars, then where do they go from there? You know, that's the problem when you keep on. It's amazing when they have shows like Infinity War or Endgame, but like me, and I've said this a lot of times. After Endgame, I'm having a really fucking hard time getting into,
Because the stakes
particularly
aren't the
the
same.
movies.
I
Because
think-
they blew their load so much on fucking Endgame, and it was so fucking great. I loved Endgame. So, like, when I went to see Doctor Strange, I was like, okay, I am not fucking impressed with this movie whatsoever.
I just like
I haven't seen Thor yet. I'm probably going to take Austin to go see Thor next weekend, but...
I like in terms of like superhero stuff, I'm always more of a fan of smaller stakes, like smaller stakes but smaller atmosphere. It's just easier to comprehend and take in. This is why I like Batman. This is why I like Daredevil. This is why I like The Punisher, because it's rooted in the real world. And when you deal with the problems that the real world presents, you have real world answers.
Kind of why I like Cap. I say
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I mean it's him, and he's also very much part of that. This is where when like things get it's almost getting to the point of too fantastical to be relatable. And now it's just it's basically where the comics where I turned away against the comics.
But I'm okay with that to a certain extent because you're at the fucking movies. Like you're supposed to be there to enjoy a show.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
You said reality. Like a lot of people want to check out of fucking reality. So for me,
what Basement is saying is that it's easier for him to invest if the movie has smaller stakes versus these like everything's gonna fucking like
I mean, even in the Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm taking into account that the movie is obviously like crazy, but it still works within its own limits. When things start to get like beyond, and when anything can be changed because plot convenience, it starts to infuriate me. This is why I'd never say Endgame is close to Infinity War, because it recommends everything that Infinity War did.
Sorry, I have one more question, and then I got to get the fuck out of here because I got Bella's birthday party in the morning. But Connor, you said Echo was off of a character from Hawkeye, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that the girl?
Yeah, Echo.
Okay. I thought so, but I just wanted to make sure. But on that note, you guys, I actually have to get the hell out of here because I have to get up early in the morning and cook and set up and all that shit for Bella's birthday party. So,
alrighty.
I mean, we're gonna get here in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up ourselves soon. So, but you have a good night, Gina.
Good night.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Peace out. The only thing I was gonna say, real quick with this was the last thing, because God knows I've been not shutting up about this enough as it is. I think Secret Wars is going to be the last Avengers movie in the MCU because
I hope so.
Because at that point, I don't know what else you could do with the Avengers, because you've already done the two biggest stories. You know that's so. What I think they're going to do in Phase 6. What we were talking about earlier is I think that is where you're going to start heavily planting the seeds for the X-Men if you don't do already an X-Men movie.
I was about to
say. Then that's when you springboard into, because Fantastic Four is going to kick off Phase 6.
This is like, now I'm thinking this is why like they've prolonged Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four and the X-Men are going to be the future of the MCU.
Yes, 100%. Because I was thinking about, like, obviously the Avengers name is still a big cash cow for them, which is fine as long as they can do something to match it. But the problem is, how are you going to match Infinity War and Endgame? And the answer is literally the only thing that you can do is Secret Wars. That is literally the only, because that's basically you're dumping all your toys into one section and just letting them go at it. Which, if they can get the Spider-Man deal from Sony, holy fucking shit, then that's just they're gonna, the mouse is gonna drown in money like Scrooge McDuck.
Well, that in my husband will happen, and then you're gonna see a Spider-Man Blade combo at some point in time. They'll cameo in each other's movies.
Even if they just. Even if they just get Spider-Man for these two Avengers movies, just these two, not even talking, another Spider-Man solo film. I mean, fucking shit. That
being said, Avengers might end, but the team-ups will not. And I don't know what it's going to be called exactly, but they're going to basically just rename Avengers and include new people.
It's funny, in my video essay I mentioned that I threw out, one of the things I said was, I definitely see a Thunderbolts movie happening, but it won't be like it would be like the equivalent of like either a Guardians or the first, or like the Avengers Ultron movie, where it's a team up, but it's not the team up that we're looking for. And ta-da.
There you go.
But anyway. So that means the Marvel Roundtable will be here forever and ever and ever.
You know what? I don't mind it, though. I've been having fun with it, even if the movies sometimes are... none of the movies are terrible except for 2.
Well, I mean...
Not even terrible. They're just not great.
We're going to catch up by the end of the year. We're going to catch up with the Marvel Roundtable up to Phase 4, basically, by the end of the year. And so, knowing that Phase 5 starts in February, that means we'll be able to breathe more with these things, which will be a little bit more interesting.
It'll be a bit more palatable too. Like, I don't think we'll get to a point of exhaustion when there's breathing room, and we'll also have a couple other roundtables. Hey, we could do a Fast and the Furious roundtable.
God, no.
It's all about family, okay?
I'm game. Let's do this.
I will stick with Harry Potter and fucking Star Wars, and after that, I'm out.
I know, after that, you're getting fast and you're getting furious.
No, I'm out. That movie was only good for the first 2. After that was garbage.
You never walk away from family.
I will walk the fuck away from family in a fucking heartbeat.
But on that note, I think we should probably wrap up this week's edition of No Bucks Given. I think we covered a lot this week.
I mean, there's so much to cover, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think so too. But I want to thank, I know Trek had to bop off. I know JP is lost in shrooms, and Gina had to leave a little bit early. I want to thank also Basement and Heather for joining me, and as well as you cool cats and kittens in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out all the other stuff on the Horny Goat YouTube channel, make sure you guys go check out, of course, Marvel Roundtable, our Fall Guys gameplay, and of course, Horny Goat GM. A lot of fun stuff there. I don't know if we're doing anything tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be another rest day. But if not, we will be back, or if it is, we will be back Monday with another Marvel Roundtable as we enter into Phase 4, as we were talking about with our review of WandaVision, which I cannot wait to. What's that?
I still have to watch 5 episodes. Whatever.
Yeah, you got 2 days. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're good. Make sure you listen to us on your favorite podcasting platforms on the Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, iTunes, and everywhere else. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment, share, all that fun stuff, and we will see you guys either next week on No Bucks Given, right here on the channel, or of course, Marvel Roundtable, wherever you guys listen and watch us from. So until then, peace out, you sexy bitches.
And actually, before we go, check out Connor on his own channel, where he does a bunch of shit for Marvel. We know he loves it, and he's passionate about it, and we have fun with him talking about it, but he is very knowledgeable and loves it. And Connor, if you can drop it in the chat, or you can go in and post it afterwards, or change the channel to add you to it, however the fuck it works.
Smooth. The smoothest outro I think we've ever done.
Whatever.
Yes, I'll drop.
I've listened to.
I'll drop it. I'm experimenting with some new things on the channel, and like obviously switching from wrestling talk to Marvel talk is kind of same-ish, but different. And so
I think you'll get a bit more love than hate.
yeah, and so I'm trying to do more instead of just like rant. Like I know I did a couple of TikToks on there where it's like breaking news, but I'm also trying to. I'm going to do some video essays, so I'm actually going to put actual effort into into it. So I'll leave a link in the channel, in the chat, if anybody wants to subscribe. I do have a review of Thor: Love and Thunder up there if you guys want to check it out too. So ta-da!
We'll also add him to our channel where you can look at the people we follow. He's going to be there. But yes, we love you, man.
Love you guys too.
All right, bitches, fuck off.